Greetings and salutations, Darker Side fans, and welcome to what I believe to be the first match of the Darker Side tournament. I am Bash. The second match of the Darker Side tournament, just like I said a second ago. And I am joined by Awesome Aggro. So, just as a nice introduction, while we mostly watch the kingdom that we see in every single category, this is Darker Side, which means that each player will have to beat the game and then acquire 500 moons so that they can go to the Darker Side level. And then the category ends when they get the triple moon at the end.
Hey, I wanted to let you finish your thought before I hopped in.
Yep, go ahead.
Cool. Hey everyone, I'm Awesome Agron. Run this category on occasion. I used to run it heavily. I haven't exactly had a lot of time to do it lately, but it's still a fun category. So, here to join Bash for some hot commentary.
Glad to have you here. Glad to be back to commentary. Been a little bit.
Danger's showing off a really topper strat there. Not sure if you saw that.
I didn't end up seeing it because...
So yeah, basically what he did there was he did a spin throw and knocked off Topper's hats. So, it's, you know, like stunt boys do.
Mm-hmm. Both players did left side, right?
I believe so.
I'm pretty sure. And also in this category, something that is I'm pretty sure they both got the checkpoint and cap.
Yes, that will be very
using it on revisit.
Yeah, that checkpoint will be used to make cap 2 a bit more streamlined when we come back to cap in the post game. Oh, Zinpars went the right way.
That's a little bit weird that he went right, but he's only like what, 1 second behind?
Yeah, I mean it just goes having clean movement in general, even if you don't go for the so-called hardest strats. Doesn't necessarily matter. As long as your movement's fairly clean.
Dangerous had to do it back. Both players got an easy dino skip though. It looked pretty clean for both.
Mm-hmm. Cascade is pretty much the same any other category. No differences here. You know, you go up and brutal, and then they'll probably get atop the high cliff as their 5th moon to leave Cascade immediately.
Yep. Sand is the first difference.
Yes. And things change. So Danger's is a little bit ahead, but this is a really long run, so
yeah,
that doesn't really make that big of a difference.
A lot of time to lose time, a lot of time to make up time.
A lot of time. Especially in post-game, some mistakes can lose up to a minute if you're not careful.
You know, you miss a bird and you just lose. 5
Well,
seconds.
missing a bird is straight up the worst mistake you can make in this category.
Well...
Okay, so instead of getting atop the high cliff, Danger's opted to go for, Treasure Basin, which is technically faster if you... But he
If you
ended
do
up,
it, like, yeah.
failing the chest
Ended up
flip,
losing
so...
time.
And that will also affect how he does Cascade 2 later.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting, because I was just about to say, another big thing is, Darker Side is a long enough category to where they might choose to not do some strats in a tournament environment, right?
Yeah. It's definitely quite a few strats that I can think of that they would opt to not.
Eventually, Kathy will stop talking our ears off, and now we're going.
And sand is actually when this category starts differing from other categories. So, to see them do is go straight and plant the seed.
And they plant the seed because they're going to be coming back here anyway?
Yep, that seed is going to come in handy for an easy moon in post-game.
Yeah. And I think it might actually even be 2 moons.
No.
No. There's no toad moon for plants?
Oh, yeah, you're talking about the achievement, sorry.
Yeah.
For some reason I thought you were saying they were gonna plant 2 seeds. I'm like, no, it's only one in sand.
So another thing to note is that sometimes they will be getting moons or doing things that aren't necessarily fast on their own, but they do them so that they can earn Toad achievements. Because after you beat the game, Toadette in Mushroom Kingdom offers you like additional goals that when you complete them, you earn a moon.
Yep,
so while
those are gonna
individually some of these things may not be great, when you do them together and then get like another moon on top of it, it ends up working out.
A good example of this is fishing. The RNG, like, the fishing moons are dependent on RNG, pretty much, with the fish bites. And they can be fast, but most of the time they won't be fast. Because we get, Toadette moon at the end. It just makes it a little bit more worth it to do all the fishing moons. So, something that you might... Zinpars collected a little bit more coins in the Sphinx Vault compared to Dangers. This is because Dangers is on 1.2, while Zinpars is on 1.1. Dangers has a little bit of an advantage here, and can get 1 or 2 of the coin hint arts to make up for getting some of the coins, say in like the Sphinx Vault, or... So...
A little bit surprising here that Zinpars is having this much trouble with the clip, since he is, as just stated on earlier versions, where this clip is a lot easier. And even for Zinpars, this is like not great.
Keep in mind, Vash, while maybe it's still not necessarily, you know, so-called free. Like,
well, I mean, I watch him a lot, and so he usually gets it a 3rd try.
3rd try. Try. So something that Dangers did to avoid taking damage from the in this little 2D section before going into the pop is he manipulated his camera so that we're in never really had to get hit by them. Before we started doing this camera manip, doing a really jump in between the bullets to avoid taking damage.
It was like a I think it was like a 3-frame window or something really dumb.
Let's just say that I've gotten it once ever, Vash.
And it was pretty frustrating too, because so like most people are just like, oh, I mean, I got it this run, cool, but
yeah, it was always it's like, get it or I don't. Most of the time you don't, so you just kind of brush it off and you just take the damage. But with that camera manip, we can avoid taking damage in that section, which takes time. And consistency is a really big thing in this category. Since it's so long, it's that you know that you can rely on.
yeah, I think that consistency, like, is something that people really undervalue on some of these longer categories.
Mm-hmm. It's not going to be
it is
where a mistake, a reset, isn't that big of a... or he's much shorter.
It took a while for, like, world record to be deathless. Well,
yeah.
Almost deathless. Because some deaths are intentional in the run.
Well, yeah. All of the deaths aren't intentional, you know, aren't in the run, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely took a bit of time. But it's just to show... over time. So I'd say Dangers is about 25 to 30 seconds ahead right now.
I can agree with that.
Finishing up the Night Sand cutscene.
Did his game just, like, freeze when he talks to the Jaxie? Did you see that? There was, like, 2 seconds between some of the dialogue.
I don't think it froze, per se. Well, say that that's not normal. Like, you know, like, it had, like, a short pause during the Jaxie dialogue.
I only, like, really comment on it because, like, that's a significant thing.
Anyways, something that Dangerous just did right here was he threw Cappy before talking to the slots guy to get the slots in one go. Just, you know, cheesing the gambling life. That's how it,
Look at this guy with his down throws. Oh.
Zinpars infamously always being on. Showing off the down throw shot.
Time he showed off so far. So when he went to get the bird, he did an up throw, and he ended up messing it up and missing it. And then he also messed up the down throw here. But I know he just sits there and is like, it's fine, I got to show up a down throw or an up throw.
Yeah, there are definitely a couple of moons in this category that can be swapped in and out just because down throws are more efficient to get them.
I remember,
and that makes them like actually applicable into the route.
Months ago, I was talking with Bayleaf, like, during a run, and I was like, so, like, what if I routed in this moon, and, like, I just asked you to do a down throw, and he was like, no, you're crazy. He's like, I would have to stop all momentum for that area, and I was like, what, just throw down!
I have been considering, going high, since I already use the Joy-Cons to clip better. Because
I think that,
I have a lot of trouble clipping with Procon.
I think that hybrid is eventually the future for speedrunning this game, and it's hilarious.
Definitely the future for speedrunning this game. Especially stories. There's just so many places, bro, it's just way too good to pass up. So, Dangerous here is kind of showing off his world peace prowess through sand right now. And yeah, that's a part of the advantage for this early game is kind of just, and that's story. So I think we're gonna see him quite ahead. So there's not really too much to talk about with Knuckle Attack here. What Dangerous is doing right now to immediate the other end of the arena, so that way the fists pass by faster. And that speeds up this fight by like a total of like 3 seconds or something. There's very small optimization for this boss to speed it up.
I tried to lab, like, so for one of the hits, you have to wait a second before boosting. And so Bailey was like, find a way for us so we don't have to wait. And so I spent like an hour and a half just redoing this fight over and over, trying to manipulate starting, and it is... I have an idea of how it can be done, but like, at the same time, I was kind of tired of the boss fight.
Right, definitely theoretically, there could be here that we just haven't figured out yet. Potentially. It's kind of hard to say at this point. Like, obviously the game's already found a lot of stuff, but there's probably still a lot of stuff that we still haven't found yet. Covered for that small time saves that will add up to just make this game even faster. It's only a matter of time.
It's so, like, nerve-wracking when they're at this part of, like, the run. For these long strings of, like, just talking. Like, where Cappy is just talking to them, and it's like, alright, yeah, but I need to know if like, Dangerous is gonna pull ahead, or Zinpars is gonna fall behind, so stop giving me this constant.
Oh! Zinpars going into first person there. I don't know if that actually ended up being faster for him in this scenario, because he did take a split second to get into first person. But, yeah, generally going into first person to talk to NPCs is faster, if you do it correctly.
Yeah, I think he messed it up on Jaxie earlier, but I didn't really see it on that one. Yeah,
so back to Danger's screen. As you all can tell, he went to Wooded first. This is for a smallish time save in post-game that can start in Wooded just a slight bit faster, since we can get it after the Moon Cube in post-game, instead of our way to get it in first visit. Just the painting order allows us to do it in post-game by selecting Wooded first. That's really the only major time save that doing Wooded first gives you.
Oh, and also nut clipping. Nut clipping early so you can reset.
Oh, yeah. True. The Deepwoods got a reroute. I haven't much into this reroute. I haven't been category, but changed Deepwoods a little bit. I believe it gets rid of the treasure trap moon that Zinpars just got there.
Oh, so like they aren't even running this reroute? I was about to say, like, this looks pretty normal to me.
I think Dangerous is doing the reroute, but I don't think Zinpars is.
Well, Dangerous got the treasure chest room, didn't he?
Oh, he did?
I'm pretty sure. Then
I guess they're not.
Because I thought I saw him leave the fight.
Forget everything that I said. Either that or it's...
No, don't forget everything he just said, because I could just be wrong.
That's the reroute. So I guess they just aren't doing...
Probably a safe bet.
Either that, or maybe they're just getting the treasure trap moon anyway, because it's just something that they're comfortable with doing. And for the race format, that's honestly all you can ask for. Do things that you're comfortable with.
Dangers did not get Moonclip, although I'm pretty sure he went for it.
Yeah. Attempted.
But it's
Actually
not that big
does-
of a deal. I think that he 20-ish seconds ahead? 30?
Dangers actually does some special here to completely skip the gate and get on this upper part that he's at right now. Normally, if he gets the clip, so... Unfortunately, we won't be seeing that this run, but it is some pretty spicy movement. And it's also very risky, so it's also potentially maybe did not to do it, because failing that does drop you into the deep woods. Potentially. So it could just be that he didn't want to take the risk.
Small run reset.
You know, just a small reset. To be fair, they are only 21 minutes in, so I guess it's
only
kind of reasonable.
For an any percent runner, that's a third of the way through the run.
Okay, according to Bayleaf, Dangers did do the new route. Zinpars did the old one. I am uninformed, apparently. I mean, I was sort of right. Anyways... So Dangers is just making quick work of Wooded at this point. The first visit in Wooded does end after fighting Spear. We only grab, well, with the old route, you grab one extra moon because of the treasure trap, but with the new route, you grab the exact amount of moons that you need to leave. Confirm that Dangers to do the new route. Because he only grabbed 5 moons in Deep Woods instead of 6.
Ooh, so Zinpars, that's not some more of that movement over there.
So keep in mind, even though Zinpars seems to be behind, he did grab an extra moon. So he's not as behind as we think. And that's kind of the interesting thing when people do different routes in this category. Like, he's definitely still behind, but
he's definitely
not
still
as behind as we think.
But, like, it may look like it's a minute and a half at this point, but it's probably more like around a minute.
It's probably more like a minute, give or take. Danger's just beating Spirit. So, that's dandy. Zinpar's kind of messing up his movement there.
Yeah.
Well. Instead of diving into the abyss, he things.
But Dangers will be leaving Wooded now and going to Lake.
I think Danger sub 24. This is pretty good pace so far. If I would say so myself.
I'm trying to think about what we do in Lake 1.
So, the first visit in Lake in this category is pretty much just any percent plus grabbing the hint art. There is a small optimization that we made recently where we grab Lakeshore, post Rango, grab the hint art, and then Lakeshore. It's slightly faster. I don't remember by how much, though. I want to say 4 seconds. 4 seconds sounds right. Yep, Danger's doing it. What I said there. Opting to skip Lakeshore for now, but he'll get it after he defeats Rango with the hint art. Small optimization that can be made to save a little bit of time.
But I mean, like, that's also kind of where this category is starting to get at. Is that, like, 1 second and 2 second time saves, because it's over such a long run.
Oh yeah,
this started to add up.
Yeah, this category is definitely getting there. I don't think it's at the point where, you know, any percent is at this point, but it's definitely gone through quite a bit of optimization over the past 5 or so. Especially during summer. In summer, like, we were reworking this category like crazy. It changes almost every week. It was...
I remember, like, talking
but also
about
very fun.
I was like, you know, I've heard that there are some, like, more of these strats, and he's like, I can't change the route every day. I'll change it in, like, a month, right?
yeah, when, like, all
down.
of the strats are worked in already. So he just adds it all at once. Oh. So Dangers is almost done with Lake. Entered Lake. That should give a better resemblance on the gap here. About a minute and a half, but like we said, Zinpars does have the extra moon. So that is gonna give him a slight advantage. For now.
Oh, Zinpars not... Okay, there we go. Zinpars misses his first cap toss to cap, but makes up for it by showing off a down throw strat.
Danger's doing exactly what I said before. Make sure just a little bit faster. Like I said, I don't know exactly how much that saves, but...
According to Neo, it saves less than a second.
Oh, it's less than a second? Wait, what did I say before? 4 seconds?
No, I think you said it was like 2.
We
like
wish
that.
it saved 4 seconds. Danger's on his way to Cloud. Literally nothing, really changes in Cloud. One thing to note, also, about Lake 1, make sure to grab that checkpoint before entering the Rango fight, because they will need it on the revisit. Ooh, it's a slight bit of trouble with Rango.
Yeah, I was about to say
That's it up
like,
quite nicely, actually. He didn't lose much time.
Like, usually when Rango goes bad, it's a little bit hard to recover it. You kind of get caught in this, like, you're off rhythm situation.
I didn't see if checkpoint
Danger's
before
had a
Rango.
Oh, before he got Rango? I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, he probably. Checkpoint isn't easy to miss, per se, but, you know, if you miss it, it can hurt in post-game. It's probably, like, checkpoint to miss is, say, another checkpoint in the run, but, like, it could still cause some issues in post-game.
I mean, I think it would definitely cause it.
Ooh, Zinpar is doing some there. So he not to get Lakeshore later, like Dangers, but he did some pretty fancy movement to potentially make up for it. Doing a RCJ into to cap the globe fairly quickly. Dangers already in loss.
And also had a pretty clean meme tree, so...
Lost in general in this category is brutal.
Yeah, I mean, like, Lost is pretty brutal in every category. Except for, like, nipple percent.
Any percent at this point, it's, you know, not as bad. Like, realistically, I feel like at this point, in any percent, it's, you know, it's bearable. But that's probably because I don't do page triple. But in Darker Side, there's a lot that can happen that can ruin your lives. A lot. This 8-bit section can be pretty annoying to gain momentum in pretty danger you with it. Be dying to warp back up to the top. That death was intentional. No worries.
It's actually, for some odd reason, it is faster to Death Warp than it is to Warp.
It is 2 seconds faster to Death Warp.
In which it's still... I don't feel like we spent enough time asking why.
I'm not % sure. It's probably because pulling up actual menu to warp takes time itself. And just not using the time to have to pull up the menu is probably just faster in the end.
Yeah, but you have to go through the coin animation.
Zinpars is having a little bit of trouble with the meme tree. Opts to play it safe. Going...
And at the same time, I think that'll just make up for Zinpars' missed meme tree. Dangers accidentally rolled past a moon and had to spend like an extra second or two getting it, so I think that actually just balanced out instantly.
I didn't really notice the mistake that Dangers made there. So, okay. So, Danger's, messing up a little bit, having to get this moon on a second trip from the top. It's not as bad as missing this moon in any %, but still pretty hefty time loss. Now, I don't know if Dangers is gonna opt to go for TNT or not. TNT being Twist and Turn Up Treasure. We call it TNT because if you miss it, it blows up your run.
Alright, first try Glide-On, by the way. No big deal.
It was first try?
Yeah.
Nice. Very clean. Very clean.
I had to stop talking because I'm over here panicking.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that your stream is a little ahead of mine. Maybe I could fix that.
Zinpars making sure to scare away Klepto. No Klepto, please. Dangers entering Metro.
Alrighty. I don't know if that actually fixed anything, but I decided to refresh my
Oh, Zinpars, no! Zinpars bonking on getting the caged moon.
Oh no!
So now he's gotta go rescare Klepto, make sure he remembers.
Have enough height. Actually,
yeah,
I think in this situation, necessarily have to scare Klepto. Well, he could grabbing the moon.
I think that. I think he's gonna play it safe and
like
drop.
What I'm saying is you can avoid touching the stump.
Yeah, I think that his plan though was
he's still in the air, so he probably could have done that without having to reactivate Klepto. But he's playing it safe.
I think that originally he was planning on dropping onto the bridge and then dropping from bridge to get the moon, but then he just went from stump to the moon. Oh my god! Taking that glide on real close to the edge.
Yeah, my stream's definitely still behind. I don't really think there's anything that I can do about that.
Feels bad.
'Cause I'm just hearing you react to these things before they actually happen, so... Danger's making quick work at the City Hall. Too much different in Night Metro from any %. There is one different. The same as World Peace. We grab the Swaying Girder Moon on the way to Mecha Wiggler. Because it's just faster in this particular category to grab that moon separate to all the other ones we collect later. Did Zinpars go for TNT? Twist and Turn Up Treasure?
Which one is Twist and Turn Up Treasure? I see people talk about it, and I've like...
Glide on keyboard.
Oh, okay, yes. Yes.
Okay, he did.
And I believe that he also got it first.
Cool. Yeah, that's not an easy moon to get first try.
And it can be really scary doing it because like the timing window is so small.
Like I said before, if you mess it up, it blows up your run. So I think Zinpars Lost was a little bit worse than Dangers, so the time gap is increasing.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. The time gap is increasing. It might be a minute and a half, 2 minutes now.
I'd say 2.5. And that's with consideration. Because if you really think about it, Zinpars is almost a whole night Metro behind.
He's like halfway through Night Metro.
You have to keep in mind how long that Mecha Wiggler fight takes.
Oh, okay. He's fine. There's plenty of time left in the run.
Ooh, lots of bonks. Lots of bonks. What was that, like 4 bonks just trying to get around that corner?
Was... I always like to tell you, but bonks usually lead to more Well, that is very unfortunate for Zinpars.
Oh, not a city fall! No! Well, that's gonna widen the gap even further at this point. Meanwhile, Dangers is in Day Metro now, and the first thing we do in Day Metro is we grab this seed, and we plant it immediately. Once again, we're just planting seeds, so that way we can get some free moons in post-game. Talking to the bench friend.
Talking to Pauline so that we can start the old band members. I had to say instrument.
Get the band back together.
He's on a mission from God.
Neo. The longer he thinks here we are for doing this tournament. Kinda true. So. Three.
Here's the real deal. If Zinpars messes up this cycle, this is it. He is officially in like Monka. Okay, fine.
Darn, you spoiled it. Sucks that my stream's behind.
I can just read the future.
Dang.
And
Dangers.
I won the whole tournament! Whoa!
Tournament bash?
Yeah. No, I can't reasonably sign up.
Not to say I don't think you were.
Because, like, I can't ask Speed Gaming to have 2 people run against me at once, just so I can finish in time by the second person finish.
Oh.
And I just thought about how different, like, the route is now, so I couldn't even, like, use that as a basis.
Dang. Before the... Making sure to look at this hint art before talking to the trumpeter.
Yeah, it's a real pain if you don't, and also, I think a little bit scary getting it, just because you have to land on that small ledge, and if you bonk, you end up falling down. But he did, yeah, you know, he handled it.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Especially since, once again, that's a World Peace trick, so that just carries on to what he normally does in World Peace. There's just a lot of movement in the first half of this run that translates Peace Run.
Danger's not going for 5 clip.
He's on 1.2. I wouldn't expect him to. Also, keep in mind, going for Sewer Clip in Darker Side doesn't save as much time since you are in the sewers. I think it still saves a little bit of time, but it's not nearly as worth it. Danger's cleaning up the sewers quite nicely.
Zinpars getting
some pretty slick movement to get this story moon. Zinpars' favorite musician, Otep. I don't know, maybe he's not everyone's favorite, but it seems like he's the favorite.
I kinda am partial to the drummer because the trumpeter because
The drummer.
my dude is on a roof.
The trumpeter. Yeah, that is true. He is on a roof.
Okay, you got one playing in the park.
Living life
Makes
dangerously.
sense. You got a guy playing next to City Hall. Makes sense. Other guy is also in a park.
Zinpars is kind of
guy's just on a
juggling the
roof.
seed there. Yeah, he figured it out. He planted the seed. Dangers, meanwhile, is in the festival. Arguably the best part of the game.
This is like one of the main reasons why people kind of looked into other categories.
No audio.
We had to skip.
Long. Not like you'd want to hear me sing.
I only sing for bits, Castool. Not that chat will be able to give bits in time, so I just baited them into giving Speed Gaming money.
The only difference in the festival, the world piece, is Secret Moon in Darker. A fast moon. It's inside the festival. There's pretty much no to avoid grabbing it. It's right on the route. Dangers is making quick work of the festival. I think he met with one of the cycles, but not too bad. Festival. Now, Danger should be leaving Metro with one extra moon to the required amount to leave. With his last moon being the tourist. You just go back down with the pylon and talk to the tourist. And that will allow us to continue the sequence with the tourist to get some pretty easy moves. Yeah, the reason why we talk to this tourist initially in Sand is it starts a sequence that allows us to get a total of 5 moons throughout the course of the run.
Is it 5?
I think so. There's Metro, there's Cascade, Luncheon, Moon, Mushroom. 5.
There's think that there's a Toadette moon for it?
Is there a Toadette moon for tourists? There probably is.
I could be wrong, but I kind of remember it being really weird.
There probably. There's a Toadette moon for everything.
Neo will correct me immediately and tell me I'm a big old dummy.
Neo will know. Neo will know.
Alright, yeah, I'm an
No,
idiot.
there is not one. Interesting. I would think there would be, potentially, but I can see why there wouldn't be as well.
It makes sense that there isn't, because, like, you end in in Mushroom, right? So, like, you would like, get it there, and then you would walk
ends
up
in
to
Mushroom.
Toda and get another.
Well, the sequence ends in Mushroom on the second visit in post-game.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I guess it makes sense that there really isn't one. Otherwise, the casual player will try and get the achievement during first visit and be like, well, we can't get it. Oh, it ends in sand. Well, we are idiots, Vash. It ends in sand. It's total. My AUM knowledge lacks. I ran the category 13 hours.
I am still all unique moon virgin until someone is crazy enough to pay me to run it.
I'm still 100% version, but like I will run 100% because AUM.
I feel you on that. I have like
like there's no reason. It's literally AUM, but worse. Neo, he literally just said that you have to pay him. Come on. Get with the program. Dangers, making her in the Goomba room. This is the only barrier room during first visit. Because...
it is, like, pretty weird.
Well, there's a reason for it. The third moon in post-pop, there's pretty much no reason to ever go up there. Since, to drop, like, a panel from the top, which allows you to cross, but there's a jumper problem. It's pretty easy.
Well, that's no moon clip, everybody. So now he has to back up and clip down here.
Oh, he missed the moon clip. Not that big of a deal. So he is gonna... no clip. This clip, it can be... you just basically have to go and do the fastest possible roll cam. There's not really too much to it. It's not really timing like the IP clip one. You just go, no delay, as fast as you can. Dangers is having
a pretty rough time right now.
He might
this is...
to go for the upstairs clip, which is significantly easier. Oh, no, he's
so that was like 30 seconds, I think, clipping?
That was a lot of tries, yeah, but it was still...
I mean, it's still faster than doing the rooms. I'm not sure if he should have gone upstairs.
I think he would have been better off with upstairs in this case, especially since, you know, he failed it, you know, he slightly slower, but it is significant downstairs. So it might you regret your... it's okay, we forgive you. So Vash, what do you think Dangers will get in the bound ball?
I'm gonna go ahead and say that our boy is getting, if I remember first down, our boy is getting typing it. So I am slightly stalling for time. Yeah!
Alright, sure, I guess I'll type my guess too. I'm gonna guess 53-43. I actually guessed Danger's bound bowl time once while, you know, he was just doing it. So that was pretty cool.
I think it's one of the I think it's a solid like meme that's come out of like SMO.
Just guessing the bound bowl time.
Yeah.
It's all in good fun, man.
Yeah, you know, unless you guess 5 seconds over what everybody else guesses, because
Well, in that case,
watched bound bowl in a while, and it just kind of makes you look like you're a big old bully.
it also depends.
I mean, who would do that?
It also depends on the runner. Runners are good at the game, but not necessarily bound bowl. Especially seen with some of the any percent runners that were dipping into World Peace recently. Some of them got the hang of it, though. So, it's cool. Wow. A hot time for Dangers. 52.66. That's a really good bound bowl time.
Yeah, it's, no one guessed over.
That is a bowl time. It is possible
I mean, everybody guessed.
without the third lap glitch, but it is... And for the sake of consistency, we opt for slightly that can allow us to get up to a high 51, I believe.
Zinpars also had a little bit of trouble with, downstairs.
Zinpars! This was the time. I think his clip was... I think. So Zinpars is about behind Dangers at this point. So after doing Bound Bowl, in the first visit of Snow, we only grab 2 more moons and then we just leave and get the rest of the moons in Snow 2. Oh, my stream is buffering. Dang it.
Let's see.
Hold on.
Let's go ahead and guess on Zinpars' Bound Bowl as well. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna learn from my ways.
Why? Not like this. Come on, refresh faster. Probably gonna get an ad on top of this. Well, I'm currently in the dark at the moment.
Well, Zinpars is on his, like, second lap, and I think that he's on track to have, like, a 53, 54.
I didn't even guess Zinpars' time. Whoops.
Dangers is exiting the, pipe ground pound. So he's having... And he's looking like he's pretty good at the Seaside start. Zinpars ended up with a 55-35.
Just load the stream. And I have an ad.
Should have bought Twitch Turbo.
Nah, I'm good. I'll take 12-second ad. Anyways, I'm back. I can now see what's happening again. I'm just in time to see Dangers make the Kobe for the seed in Seaside. Now, you can plant that seed in any of the pots except the one to the bottom right. And the reason for this is it takes significantly longer to grow. So
You end up,
so long that if you're too you end up having to grow it yourself in the second visit.
yeah, if you do end up tossing it into that really long pot, then you actually lose about, like, 7 seconds to having to grow it.
Yeah, because you have to grab a Gushin and grow it yourself. Little bit of a pain, but it's not the like Vash said, that it's about 7 seconds. Seaside is second, and you're thinking of is AUM. AUM does Seaside first. Ooh, Danger's having to hop around and refill it. Yeah, there's a pretty significant gap between the two runners right now. It's about 2 minutes.
Did Zinpars accidentally stop his timer?
This is a very long run. Anything can happen. There are things in who's up to a minute at a time if you're not careful. So it is... Dangers is making very... So, the main strategy that we use here in Seaside is we just take the Gushin around and we break these fountains. It's important if you... It's pretty big. I don't know exactly how much time it loses.
It would like really
how
depend
you back
on
up the
where
situation.
you lose it.
Yeah,
Because like, you know, it
lose
depends like
it and
quickly
how
you
you
get
back it
another.
up. Because if you back it up smart, you don't lose new... You were not smart.
Yeah. And like the reason why we keep the Gushin is just because it moves so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really convenient to not have to worry about your height a lot of the time.
Not to mention... Gushin's water. Which makes this, Gushin journey even more... Dangerous was able to fill up his Gushin using a checkpoint. Checkpoints that aren't grabbed yet can all Gushin's water. So we use the checkpoint by the canyon to refill the Gushin as well.
Let's see if Dangerous gets the good manipulation. I assume that he will, but...
He knows this boss in and out. This is... It's finest. So, what he's gonna be doing here with Molluscalancer III, Dolphine, I think that's his name, don't quote me on that, is he's gonna be getting the boss, and he's boss to the hot spring to mess up his iframes, that way he basically clips through the wall. This basically messes up the boss's path in a sense. It wasn't intended, but because we got there first, we're able to make the boss a new path, in a sense. That was a very clean fight on Danger's part.
Mm-hmm. He executed that fight pretty well.
I didn't really see any errors, to be honest.
I'm not sure if I did. Meanwhile, Zinpars
Shout out to Kerbis's emote, Kerbis Big Brain.
Zinpars is rolling up on this fight pretty soon as well, so we'll see if he can execute it nearly as well as Dangerous.
Mm-hmm. And even if you don't get the boss clip, it only loses about 10 to 15 seconds, depending on how you perform the last part of the fight. It's a small time save, in a sense, but it's still big enough where it could matter. So, it's not really the end of the world if you don't get it. Things that you can potentially try and is not positioning yourself correctly, getting to the point so you don't quite hit Molluscalancer on the head, or you just fail to beat him to the hot spring. And Otter pretty much Get the boss clip. You know what you're doing.
Meanwhile, Dangerous is in Luncheon now.
Yep. Luncheon is being one of the harder kingdoms in this game. In Darker Side, there are plenty of mistakes that you can make a lot of time. Luncheon, you have a death pit. It's lava. So, if you mess up, you gotta wait for Mario to burn his butt a couple. He dies.
And also,
I don't know, man. That's just like salt in the wound in my.
And it's even worse because, like, sometimes you're close enough to be like, oh, maybe I'll make it.
If you if you think things through ahead of time a little bit, there is a chance that you could save yourself by a Cappy. Before Mario hits the lava, you could potentially save yourself. It just depends on. Zinpars also getting the boss clip. But he messes up the second part, which is hitting Moss Glance around the head. That hurts, especially if you get the boss clip, because it's like, oh, well, I guess the time save wasn't really time. Still save time.
Ooh, Dangerous.
Shorter path. Oh. Danger. Some hot any percent movement there. Not quite working. Ooh. Yeah, that def's gonna lose a little bit of time. But as punishing as it could have been. Zinpar's jumping over the multi-moon, by the way.
Some pretty bad pan RNG.
Yep. These pan bros can be really frustrating. Extremely frustrating. Worst RNG you could have gotten with that. And it's not all RNG good or not. Like it's definitely RNG to since you can't accurate.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Like, it wasn't that bad, to be honest. I've seen much worse with that. He was still able to grab. Now, you might also notice that throughout the run, Dangers and Zinpars have been collecting some checkpoints that aren't exactly needed for warping, but we do need 40 checkpoints by the end of the run for Toadette achievement. So that's why they're collecting a couple of extra checkpoints that are just in the way, in a sense.
It's actually like a pretty lenient goal. You can miss a couple.
It's very lenient. There's pretty much no reason why you wouldn't get 40 checkpoints by the end. We just pick the checkpoints that are literally right on the route. Like, yeah. You can just throw Cappy while running to get it, whatnot. Just stuff like that. There's really no reason for that goal to ever be an issue with the Toadette achievement. So.
Ooh, Dangerous taking another. Oh! Alright.
I guess I'll see you
Not taking another death, just a sick backup, actually.
Oh yeah, I've seen this backup before. I mean, not necessarily hold it off there, but,
yeah, that was...
Yeah, I've seen that backup before.
Cool and collected.
Yeah, so, with that, you bonk. Initially, we were like, okay, there's no way that you save yourself if you die in that area. Small part of the Mario can run up while he's... And that allows us to get enough height to be able to fit Danger's got to. So. edge of the game to save himself from a death. So, here's a slight difference to how this would normally work in World Peace. In World Peace, you get the luncheon time on the way to the volcano cave. Zinpars failing the same movement that Dangers did in that one room. But in Darker Side, we have to the meat plateau, so we can take a look at this hint art. Now, you're probably wondering Dangers didn't go to the closer checkpoint that he actually hit beforehand. You know, the one by the Podoboos, where the Pamberas are. Is actually blocked off in this intermediate phase of Luncheon before you get Peace. There's a couple of kingdoms that do this, and Luncheon is one of them that has some checkpoints during this intermediate phase. Sure why Nintendo opted to do that, but it does make things a little bit more annoying for us because we do have a little bit more ground.
Yeah. It is like a little bit weird the way that the kingdom is structured, like for the world peace part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you climb all the way up, and then...
And you're probably wondering why, to the, meat plateau in the first place. Well, the hint art actually doesn't appear until you collect the meat room, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but that's just...
Oh, Zinpars.
In like 5 seconds. Yep.
Ooh, a rough room for Zinpars here.
What's the problem? Nothing really. Seeing things slightly later. So like I hear his reactions, but I can't really see what's happening until I see it, obviously. But I obviously know something happened just based off of the way Vash is reacting. So.
They're talking about how like your mic is cutting out a lot on Discord.
That could be potentially.
Dangers doesn't seem to be struggling whatsoever with Cockatiel. Cockatiel can either be pretty simple or I hate this boss, so hopefully it goes pretty well for him here. Zinpars finishing meat, but really this is like a better way to gauge how far apart these two are, where Dangers is pretty much like done with the kingdom's story, and Zinpars is only about halfway through. So plenty of time to make it up. Well, I'm gonna be saying that like pretty much the whole run, but that's just because there are a lot of things where like if Dangers were to mess it up, that would make it would create a lot of space for Zinpars to catch up, or like Zinpars could make a mistake and the gap could get even further. It's just that there are a lot of things later on in the run that are going to be, oh man, I made this small mistake, and there goes like a minute. Maybe not a minute, like let's not be crazy, but point stands. So, Dangers will be leaving Luncheon here in a minute. Let's, you know, get through all this dialogue and stuff. Whereas Zinpars will be entering this lava bubble room so that he progresses the story. Zinpars having some pretty solid movement in this room. And Danger's getting this treasure chest, and he'll be going for the shortcut back up to the top, and he gets it. Makes it look pretty easy, but that is actually extremely scary to go for, because like for a part of it, it basically feels like you're going blind, because like the camera isn't exactly showing you, and you just kind of have to be like, all right, well, I'm doing the inputs, it should work out. Hopefully it does. And then also, as Agron mentioned earlier, he is able to get the Captain Toad hint art here for some extra coins. So, like, while Zinpars has to get these other coins, he can just get one or two of these en route, and pretty much be good. Darker Side isn't really a category that requires too many coins. I think 1,000 total. And also Dangerous is just kind of messing with this Captain Toad, spinning with him and spinning him. Meanwhile, Zinpars does this really cool looking jump that you use in Cooper free running, but you also use here to send the cliff really fast. And is about to start his Cockatiel fight, so we'll see how well that fight treats him. But Danger's probably finishing the dragon first. I mean, pretty hard to imagine that Cockatiel is done before a dragon. Zinpar is getting faked out a little bit there by depth perception. And Zinpar gets a little bit hasty there and ends up falling off the puke trail? I don't really know what else to call it. Costs him a little bit of time, not too much. Meanwhile, Danger's is going through, you know, multi-moon cutscene. Looks like Zinpars is actually playing a little bit safe on this last trail, which I think is a little bit smart. But overall, not too bad. Could have been way worse. Danger's leaving Ruin now. But it is like a little bit, you know, it's a little bit telling here where basically Danger's is like a full kingdom ahead. But also, to be fair, like, that is, the whole kingdom is ruined, so basically like saying he's one boss fight ahead. Dangerous and Bowser's now, just speeding along to the second island. And he's going to be capturing this Pokio, and he's going to leave it up here but toss his cap so he can collect this moon, and then he's just going to shake, he's going to capture just so he can, you know, shoot right back up. And it's probably like one of my favorite tricks that we use in Odyssey, is whenever we like do something and then shake the cap to capture something that we put there before. So like we use it for Glidon in Lost, we use it in Metro, and then here, and I think that might be it. Zinpars in the dragon fight, but Zinpars cannot get the Captain Toad hint art, so he doesn't really have anything super fun to mess with here. He'll pop up in these hearts, and just in case he gets worried, He generally doesn't worry about it, and he can pick them up later on in the fight. He just wants to get some coins. But once again, coins really aren't that big of a deal. They're both players, I think, are probably set by this point. I mean, there's gonna be some coins they collect later on, just if they're convenient. Danger's going through many a story, like, cutscene. Kind of nice thing about this category is, we're almost done with story cutscenes. Because once they beat the game, we don't really have to worry about them as much anymore. I mean, we got, like, the moon cube. But really, besides the moon cubes, after the moon, we're straight. We're straight moon collective time. Alright, Danger's up to the boss fights. Header first! Excuse me?
I tried to get the commentary feed, and it says so I go with regular feed.
Yeah.
I have no idea why, but oh well. Not really much I can do about that. Sorry, guys. Hatter is always. But they're all Hatter. Topper first is best, though.
I cannot believe that so many people here know about my Hatter meme. I thought I was gonna get
Of course. I mean, like, personally, I feel like that's what you're known for next to the Smiling Goomba and Bingo.
I'm glad I'm leaving my mark on this community.
What a legend.
That in my 7-hour run.
In many ways. So on my feed, Danger's just grabbed the brutal story moon.
Yep.
Behind that is.
He just left it for me.
Okay. So 6 seconds. I think. Alright.
Dude, something went really wrong with, like, my depth perception and perspective. But for a second there, I thought that Zinpars just dove off the I thought he just dove off the ledge after getting to the top of the ogre, and I was like, oh, Zinpars, whoa!
He dove, just not off the ledge. Meanwhile, Danger's a camera lock jump. It's, for some reason, when you come out of that pipe, it locks your camera for enough time, and that means we have to jump the gap without having our camera, so... It's a little bit dangerous, but if you know what you're doing, it's not that bad.
Oh, Zinpar is just slightly messing up this jump he was trying to do. But also doing a 6 Zinpar strat. Oh, but he did mess it up.
This is an interesting backup.
So what he does there is he cat vaults after a roll into that jump, and in the middle of the jump he down throws, so that when he runs past this other shard that he's collecting, when Cappy returns to him, it should gather that other shard that he had to go back for. Yeah, he didn't end up getting it, but that's what he was going.
Ooh, I think Danger's lost his Pokio there. so he had to go back down and get another one. Use
That's
the
pretty
Pokio to get this, so he pretty much had to go back for it. Taking a little bit of damage. Annoying Spinies in this area.
Danger's getting the nose moon.
Yep. It really doesn't matter which visit you get. There's some moons, first or second visit, and it won't matter whatsoever. This is one of those moons. It's just preference. It's really. Alrighty, let's hope for a clean Mecha Brutal fight. It's the same as it always is, so.
You know, just a fight where you mess it up.
It doesn't
Pretty big
mean
mistake.
potentially killing your race or run halfway
Yeah.
through the run right now, so.
It would be pretty hard for this to like kill your run.
I mean, to be fair, Leafs run at this point, but I mean that's different.
Yeah, I mean to kill your race, not your.
But yeah, like just in general, like there's not really this would kill your run. 'Cause it's not. I guess what I'm trying to point out is it's a lot of ground to go. So that was a good Mecha Brutal fight on Danger's part. Meanwhile, Zinpars is finishing up the Brutals. I didn't see if he did Topper first. I guess. Oh, he did. I'm disgusted.
You did Harry at first, like a good boy.
No, you're supposed to do Topper first.
No. We read from left to right.
I mean, you don't do that in all languages.
We do that in the lingua franca.
You know, I'm not really sure when for Harriet versus Topper first actually originated. I don't know, just one day people started arguing about it. And now it's a thing. Not entirely sure where it originated. So I think Dangers is still on pretty good pace right now. It looks like he's gonna be finishing the any percent part of this run at around mid 130. No, I'm sorry, Moon takes longer in this category. Probably a mid 131. Which is still respectable.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's very good. So immediately you're gonna see Dangers do some vectors to get to this Moon Bunny. Opts to do the spin pound strat. I think it is faster overall, so it's like the one spin pound in Moon Kingdom that ends up being faster. Because due to gravity, spin pounds aren't as effective on the moon.
Zinpars was a little bit off on his climb there, but he ended up recovering it. He didn't panic and he just waited for the next block to come by, but that could have been pretty bad if he lost Pokia there.
He backed it up well, though, and that's what's important. Danger's doing the triple jump to this chest. Very clean. That is a bit trickier than it might look. just because the moon gravity kind of messes up what you would initially think the distance is for the triple jump.
And nice moon skip.
What you also saw there was Dangers grabbed a second flower when he grabbed the chest moon, and that allowed him to keep Rocket Flower speed all throughout that whole section, which saves pretty good amount of time. In Darker Side, we collect 5 moons on the way to Bowser in Moon Kingdom. There's the bunny, the rock, the chest, the tip of the white spire, and the rafters. Just so happens that we need more moons to reach 500, and these 5 are pretty fast and en route. Bowser. So, that explains collecting those 5 moons in Moon before Bowser.
Dangers. Now starting his Bowser fight.
If things with the escape sequence in the Bowser fight, high 130 for the any percent. Now, when we mean any percent portion of the run, we're meaning when Dangers goes into the wire to escape the
Yeah, basically until he gets the credits. But that's when this run starts.
but that's when the fun begins. So all of this time, first hour and a half of this run is just setting up for the madness that ensues, with us literally collecting moons on average. And that's when the run truly picks up pace. You were probably wondering, how is this run, you know, on average 3.5 hours? Well, yeah, it picks up pace really quickly.
I wanted to comment on the fact that, like, we are, if we just go by time, about halfway through the run, and yet they have considerably less than half the moons required.
Yes.
But that is because the run is very back-end heavy.
150 moons right now, and we're a little under halfway done with the run. So the moon count versus how much of the run is left doesn't match up. And that's just because the pace that we're going to be collecting moons in post-game increases considerably.
Alright, so let's Dangers and his exit now. See if he gets a 8-bit skip.
It's a shortcut. It's a shortcut.
Listen, for so long, people told me about 8-bit skip. And I was like, oh, someone found a way to skip that whole section? And then I saw someone do it, and I was like, that's not a skip at all!
Yeah, it's not a skip. Like, the map, like, the name doesn't match up. Is. Trust me, it bothers me too. It's a shortcut in my mind.
I agree, 100%.
So... It's gonna take a lot from someone to change my mind on that, by the way. It's a shortcut, not a skip.
It wasn't an amazing quick pillar, but it was pretty good.
Honestly, down during this first section. Because, believe it or not knocking it down immediately is, like, considerably noticeably slower. Like, it wastes a lot more time than you expect.
Oh, that sucks. One off.
Well, I haven't. Oh, yeah.
But still pretty good. Just barely not sub 130.
How did that fireball... Well, like it was the right edge of the pillar and didn't knock it down.
It's really funny too because like you look at the fireball that preceded it that did hit, and it's like a couple of pixels more to the right. Oh no!
I was like, dude,
Everything's
how
ruined.
did... Alright. So Danger's shot out 130-29. Very clean portion part of the run. There were definitely mistakes, but, I mean, kinda to be expected.
Zinpars about
So now we
to
get to the
enter
fun
Chapel
stuff. At least for Dangers, I mean.
now. Yeah, Zinpars right on his tail in that regard.
Yeah, Zinpars is about a whole and escape sequence behind him. So there's definitely a much bigger gap now, but we say this. If Dangers is not careful, he could lose his lead.
All it takes is a couple,
All it takes is a couple
Oh.
birds, to be honest.
Unfortunate for Zinpars, but he did mess up the early hit on Bowser.
Ooh. So the first thing we do in Mushroom is we meet seeds. And for the later visit, when
Danger's having a little bit of trouble planting his first seed, but he got it.
not too bad. These the Kobe's for a bit more frustrating. I find myself missing this Kobe fairly often, so no shame in that. And it looks like we're gonna be seeing the Luncheon 3 route through post-game for Dangers. Half and half. People are still old route with Luncheon 2 and 3 Mushroom visits, and some are opting for Luncheon 3, which is a little bit faster. I think it's like a 3-second difference overall.
I think it's 7 seconds.
7 seconds. Because there's multiple
I remember Bailey
Xboxes that you
complaining
skip.
about it.
Huh? Sorry?
I remember Bailey complaining about it.
Complaining that he like had to reroute.
Yeah, he was like,
his
man,
splits
I
or
really
whatever."
liked the moon dump that we had before, and now I gotta ruin it. No, 3.5. I doubled it.
Yeah. So it makes Mushroom 1 considerably quicker than it normally is. Now, it's really up to preference what moons you get in Mushroom 1, to be honest. Because I don't think it really matters if you were to do all of the ones in the old route in Mushroom 1 and still did Luncheon 3. I think you're able to skip all the text boxes necessary to get that time save. I don't necessarily know because I still haven't converted to that route.
I wouldn't know either. I'm quite a deal bit behind on like a lot of routing discussions.
Speaking of potential new strats, I wonder if we're going to be seeing some blowy noey.
I don't think we
blowy
will.
noey. Oh, 3.5 seconds. I'm right. Alright. It's for...
Zinpars closing in on his finish here.
I just hit the freezing, but if he did, we will see some blowy noey. Wait, you're on. Now, for those that don't know, there is a kind of precise jump that you can do to get to where the warp painting is to go to Cascade was there, and consistent. It's exactly that fast. If we want to be fast, but potentially less consistent, we can just your own with the Taifu. But the jump itself is kind of tricky. It requires kind of precise timing with a dive vault of the work painting is. So.
I wouldn't recommend doing the jump.
I'm not 100% certain how much I think at one point, Neo, me, and a couple of other people were arguing that it saved around 7 to 12 seconds, but I don't think we ever got an exact number on that. Ooh, Danger's having some up on the ledge.
That was maybe like a 30-second.
Ooh, he did it again? Ooh, rough. Yeah, like we meant, mistakes in post-game are a lot less forgiving.
Oh, Zinpars had a really bad toss on that seed.
A mistake in post-game can definitely hurt a lot. Expect it to.
Oh, but Zinpars, well, spoke too soon. I was about to say, he did have some better planting, but it actually ended up being about the same as Danger's.
Yeah, not quite. I think they both missed both of the initial tosses with the seeds. So, initially, the Darker Side route had a significant amount more shop runes, but we started cutting them out because we realized that the loading times for the shops actually ended up making these runes not nearly as fast as we initially thought they were. I think since I started running the category, we cut out like 3 or 4 shop runes.
The category doesn't have any now, right?
The category still has some shop runes.
Oh,
These that are outdoors, and ones that have less loading. We actually went through and timed each of the shop moons on their own, just to test, because some of the kingdoms have different loading for the shops compared to others. Like, Sand and Luncheon are significantly slower shop moons than, say... It's weird, but for some reason, that's the way it is.
But also, while we were talking about all that, Zinpars is in snow now.
Ah, yes. Zinpars. Okay. Danger's is 2/3 at this point. One thing that you will notice is, on these revisits, all of the tunes don't have their added cutscene to them, because the game thing did this. And, well, we have. What we ended up doing was a sequence break, how the kingdom would normally play out. Ladies and gentlemen, hardest boss in the game, this ice lurker. Replace.
Another thing to note is that, for at least a little bit, you can now count the moon difference between them for a while, because we won't be dumping our moons into the Odyssey for a bit, so that it's going to build up there on the top left. It'll be a lot easier to see how different they are.
Eventually, we won't be able to keep track of that, Bash.
Yeah, eventually you're just going to get
even the counter itself in-game just stops showing we get. It's kind of funny. It's like, oh, well, even the game stopped caring how many... A little bit of issues with this room, but manages to back it up quite nicely.
Alright, Zinpars is out fishing. Oh! That was a first bite fish!
Oh, according to Luckily, Might be seeing Blowy Noe from Zinpars. What?
Well,
It's old.
Zinpars
I don't even know
is a
what
mad
Ultra Old
lad.
Route is. Okay. I remember what Ultra Old Route is. Probably because I wasn't running the category happened. Or maybe I was, but it was like right before all of the revisions we made to the route. I honestly don't remember.
Category's gone through some like pretty frequent changes. Hard to keep track of.
Yeah, this summer, this category went through quirk. It had a lot of summer. See, Vash even needs a sense. He's like, we used to get that checkpoint until July or something like that. Yeah, you know, something like that. You know, it's not really that important now. Danger's playing it safe and not doing Blowy Noe. Respectable.
Like a good boy.
Like I mentioned before, Blowy Noe is a very frustrating strat.
It is a little bit weird that he decided to get that that moon. If he was gonna use the blowing to get to the painting. Could have just made getting that other moon a lot simpler by jumping out and getting it earlier.
Actually, Vash, it's slower to get the... Yeah, because I know what moon you're... It's actually slower to get that moon with the Taifu.
Alright, but also hear me out. It's also slower to bong and miss.
Okay, I guess
like
in this particular scenario, you would be right, and he would have saved time playing it safe. But technically, it is faster by kind of a significant margin to get it without the Taifu. Cascade. Cascade 2 is one of the most frustrating kingdoms in Poe Team. Just, it has some make it kind of BS at times. I will point those out as we get to it. Here's BS part number 1. This sub-room. This sub-room isn't necessarily difficult, but it has its issues.
It relies on Cappy, and so like sometimes...
The biggest problem with this sub-room is that wall that Danger's just jumped up. That wall, sometimes, jump, you know, like, from it to, like, wall jump or whatever. Sometimes Cappy, you know, runs up against the wall a little bit, and that eats Mario, you know, get a cap dive, and then you just fall to your death. It's not fun. It's Kerbis's favorite room. So, that's
I mean, Bayleaf lost a run to it because, Cappy clipped into the wall.
Clipped into the wall?
Yep.
How so?
Cappy disappeared.
Oh, fun.
Lost a cap jump.
Yeah.
Lost a world record pace run to,
Yeah, I think we pretty much can up the evidence that that room is BS.
When I clipped it and I watched it back at like 0.25 speed, and I was like, it disappears. Not on your head, not in the air, went into the wall, just gone.
And here, in a moment on Danger's side, we're gonna see BS2. So there's this fossil rock.
I get this rock with 100% accuracy.
100% Bash?
100%. I'll fire up the stream.
I used to say the same until I stopped taking time to line up my shot. I try to do it more immediately now, and it doesn't work as well. I can get it most of the time still, but...
Second try, not too bad.
Yeah.
I get it
this
with
rock.
I get it with very high accuracy because I started laughing. For reasons I won't disclose.
Okay. Well, as I was saying before, there's some BS with this rock. For some reason, the hitbox is slightly smaller than it should be, which makes it really hard to actually get that moon. I think like the intended method is to do chain jumps, but
it's like
I don't even think that's necessarily
unclear, like what the intention is, because like it doesn't. Even if you do like the chain chomp bounce, it doesn't really feel like that's what you're supposed to do.
Well, I don't even think that's necessarily easier, because even the chain chomp shot, like bouncing the chain chomps off each other, I've also missed it that way too, so like I really don't know how they expect a casual to get that moon.
Like I only got it like once, chain chomp.
Much frustration.
Zinpars not doing the crazy jump.
Alright, so we are not seeing any blowy no either of the runners. Understandable. It's pretty nuts jump. So, here's a really good example of how fast we get moon. This section where you just run around Cascade, like, you're getting moons pretty frequently, and then when you get out of the dino, there's like 5 or 6 moons just back to back to back. Ooh. Danger's parking the dino on top of the moon spot. Bit troubling.
And it was also pretty scary when he ended up moving it and he had to jump out because it kind of looked like it might push him off.
Yeah, it almost looked like the dino was gonna knock him off the edge. Yeah, as I said previously, this section of Cascade, back to back to back. You get under the electrical pole, you get Lake Hintar, you get the screen on top of the rubble, you get Shop, you get the bunny, you get the timer. I would say you get the chest, but Danger's already got that. I think you get the point. There's a lot of moons that you just get literally rapid fire. Both runners room seem like child's play, to be honest. They both had pretty clean runs of this room.
Let's see if Zinpars messes up on this one. Oh no, he took a much safer approach to that moon. So I guess he's going to gain a little bit of time on Danger's in that regard. But Danger's leaving Cascade now.
Alright. So, Danger's is on his way to Bowser's.
What kingdom did I just say? Did I say moon?
I don't know, did you?
I definitely didn't say the right one.
You definitely didn't say Bowser.
Definitely did not say Bowser's.
I mean, we do revisit, but not through a painting. But that would be pretty neat. Unfortunately, not all the kingdoms. Unfortunately, not all the kingdoms are accessible. So, we will eventually end our painting chain and have to get to the Odyssey. But that's towards the end of the run. For now, let's just enjoy the painting chain.
Alright, let's see how Zinpars does with the rock. Dwayne Johnson, if you will.
Ooh. Danger's getting hit by that Pokio and Bowser's. Just a minor time loss, no big deal.
1, 2, uh-oh.
This rock is causing both of the runners quite a bit of issues. Zinpars a lot more issue, though.
Alright, Zinpar's got it 3rd try, and Danger's got it 2nd try.
Okay. That's not too bad. Danger's just did a pretty tricky jump across the poison gap there to get this moon off to the side. That jump is only tricky because the developers literally placed a torch in the path that we use to gain momentum for that jump. Thanks, developers. So that's really the only reason why that jump is tricky. So Danger's doing some target acquired shenanigans to get this bunny, no issues, nailing it with a spin throw immediately.
Danger's getting the triangle moon.
Be a pain if you don't catch it.
Oh, Danger's struggling a little bit for that ground pound. I actually thought he was going in the exact opposite direction he was supposed to.
No visual cue for this ground pound arena. There's a small triangle.
Yeah.
In the shape on the sand right next to the birds.
Oh, Bailey
and that helps us.
Based, on the birds making a triangle.
Oh, I'm pretty sure there's also like a spot in the ground though. Oh, I could
almost sounds intelligent.
Cues, but basically we use a visual cue to find that moon relatively quickly. So this sub-area gets completely cheese. Like, completely 100% cheese. The intentions for this sub-area, at least from Nintendo, is you're supposed to grab G's and put them on switches. Allows you to wall jump up to this moon that Danger's just grabbed at the... But we can just unlock first Shizo, and then just do some cap relatively quick. Bash, what's so funny?
Oh, how unfortunate.
Wait, what? Wait, what just happened?
Oh, that has gotta be so frustrating.
I guess Danger direction to move in the opposite direction back this area.
I'm not even gonna try to explain it.
I think that's what happened. Not 100% certain though. And potentially the first going through the wire, he didn't use the to force the pylon upward. Going on an adventure. Well, also said.
Yeah, I just spam buttons during it.
Mash all 4 buttons and shake, it'll never happen. Yeah, I guess that's one way to prevent that from happening.
I'm actually a little bit surprised that he just got a jump instead of talking to Peach. Because he had the dots. Usually that's like the visual cue I go for a good talk.
I'm surprised you didn't spin pound over to Peach.
He might have actually been typing when he was
potentially.
When he was moving.
He didn't even try to get the direct spin pound into the shop. That's a fun one to try and go for, because you have to slide a spin pound in between the shop door. And You know, there's a bench, the walls,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff to
A whole
bump.
bunch of normal stuff that gets in the way of this, of all of our speed.
But it's still fun to try and do it. I call it the BTC spin pound because one day I will get a frame perfect spin pound into that shop, and that will go into the darker side BTT. Like, I have got shop before, it just wasn't a good spin pound. So that is the BTT spin pound.
While Zinpars and Dangers are in the same kingdom at the moment, you may notice that one of their moon lists is a lot larger than the other, which kind of just shows you how quickly we get moons now.
Mm-hmm.
So like Dangers is about to leave, and he was maybe here for like...
The run rapidly picks up pace as soon as you get to post-game.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, like I said, like, the average time that we get moons in seconds. So immediately into Seaside. Planted long ago. Guess it wasn't that long ago, but it was long enough for it to grow. So we're gonna cap bounce to get this moon. Then we're gonna cap bounce again. We're gonna look at some hint art. And then we're gonna... Yes. So, just like there's in this run that just feel way too fluid for their own good. It is too fast.
Seaside is pretty annoying in this category and in all unique moons.
I don't think
But, like,
Seaside's that annoying in Darker Side.
I hate this moon that he's about to get. The bird one. Because the strat
But
for it
Vash,
is
this is
so
one of the
dumb.
easier birds.
It's so dumb.
But it's one of the easier birds.
That doesn't mean I don't hate it. So Bayleaf was like, so I was like, what's the strat for this bird? And he was like, alright, just get the Gushing and then go up, and hopefully you're on cycle, and if not, well,
I mean, that's pretty much what you do. If you want to ensure that you, Gushin will do like a widespread spray, which can allow you to get the bird if you were like slightly off course. Actually,
you assumed that I would only be slightly off. I'm forever haunted by this moon.
but it's like one of the easier birds.
Listen. Listen.
Listen.
I make the easiest things about this game very difficult.
Okay. Okay, Vash. Here's another section of this kingdom that you just really... Like, one... cheap, you get the... like, under the brick block. You get the one off... You go over and you shake and you get the luncheon art. Go over here and you get... bubbling northern reaches. And you get... dangerous ceiling. And the rock. Just the moons are like, it just feels so satisfying. That it just lines up this well.
I felt so weird because I looked at Zinpar's screen and I was like, wait a minute, Seaside's stock is outdoors. Did he just...
Just shows that Zinpars is about almost the whole kingdom behind at this point.
Oh my lord. I don't know if other people are doing what Zinpars just did. When
I
you
guess I'll
exit
see
the
it
shop,
in a little bit.
in order to capture the Jizo,
Whoa!
he buffered a spin throw.
That was cool. I can't. Or
I don't know if I've ever
good
seen
idea.
someone do that before.
That's a good idea.
That's a really smart idea.
Question is faster because you still need to travel with the Jizo the same amount of distance. It might look cool, but it might not even be faster.
No. I'm talking about when he first exited the shop.
Oh, well, definitely faster because he was able to capture the Jizo immediately.
Yeah, I'll just shoot a quick EM to Bailey real quick.
Meanwhile, Danger, something that has recently been added in the route. Ocean Maze was not on the route. So there's a that we get in this run throughout the run. We originally had the Lake 8-bit section, the Luncheon 8-bit section. These were 8-bits, took their own bit of time, but were surprisingly like in general. And then we have this Ocean Maze here, which seems fast. 8 all at once, but this is a very frustrating maze quickly. Barely faster. So I feel like doing Ocean Maze over the 3 options that I mentioned preference at this point. Don't get me wrong, but this is significant. Neo can correct me in chat if he wants. I don't think the difference is... Dangers did a very smart there to avoid the eel from coming at it. This allowed him to get that moon without taking any damage. Seaside Maze is faster optimally, but it's not much, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I guess it's fast if you know how to move around the Ocean Maze. Very frustrating area. You can lose a lot of time if you don't know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. And also, like, some of the time save in it is pretty annoying.
Squirting the bird by shaking his control, like I mentioned earlier, pretty much guarantees that you get the bird as long as... Zinpars scared the snail there a bit. Nearly dropped his head.
Oh, tried to get a really good down throw there, but
Now,
barely off.
funny thing about these snails in Seaside, if you land on their before you know the shop to buy something or whatever, they take 9 seconds to poke their head back out. It's a very long.
So, Danger's now leaving Seaside and going to Wooded. And Wooded is a pretty scary kingdom for, like... Oh, there's only really one huge scary thing about it in Darker Side here, and it's that a large part of the route is centered around a bird that is flying around, and this bird's cycle is really long. So if you're off by enough, then you could be you pretty much have to come up with a backup, and I believe that every backup kinda sucks, if we're being honest for it. and it can cost like 30 seconds. He hasn't had to deal with it quite yet, because there are going to be a couple times where he's going to load in and out of this area, so obviously it resets, but there's going to come a point where there's a pretty long time between any reloads, and he's going to get to a point and be like, well, if I'm on pace, we're fine, and I'm good. And if he's not, then it's going to be, oh no. But meanwhile, we're gonna get world peace in I believe the only kingdom that we don't get world peace in first time around. So,
actually, Wooded is the only kingdom that you do not collect world peace in the first time around. It's actually faster routing-wise to get this world peace on second visit.
And this is mainly because of where the painting spits us out. It spits us out so close and convenient.
Not only that, also makes it so that way we can do Deepwood's first visit comfortably. Because you'd have to worry about your moon count if you were doing... Because I think initially, when they... Or first visit, my bad. When they were doing World Peace first visit, but Deepwood... Doing the Deepwood's second visit, I think. But this was when there were still, like, outfits in the route, so... This was way before I started running the category. It
was also back when there was like another moon that we used to get in this kingdom that was so... Like, looking back, it was so dumb that we considered it. I'm trying to remember which one it is.
I don't think I know which moon you're talking about.
I'm not gonna remember it. This is like 6 months ago.
Zinpars maybe not being informed about that camera manip that you can do with the eel. Maybe. Not 100% certain on that. Oh, I meant an uproot. Yeah, that could be it. I mean, it was routed in, though. It didn't necessarily make it slow, though. Because, like, what? You got that moon with the bird cycle while you were waiting anyway? Or, like, I think? I don't know.
I don't think that we have the uproot.
No.
Yeah,
I'm saying... with the old route that you were talking about, I think Neo mentioned the moon and the I meant an uproot moon where you take.
Yeah, I know, but I don't. I just remember that we did used to have like the uproot there while we got the bird.
Zinpar's opting to do the Seaside timer, which requires a down throw to make it viable. And well, let's just say that because there's a cheap right next to where you grab the timer, and if you're not careful, Cappy will capture the cheap instead of cap onto the Scarecrow. Which can make it very annoying to actually go for. Last moon, though, if you get it, though.
And now Zinpars will be leaving Seaside soon?
Yep. Meanwhile, Dangerous just hit the moon cube and did that 4-second time save I mentioned way back during the... So, when we used to do Lake first, we had to get that hint art first visit because the painting order didn't allow us to get it because we would have already been past Wooded when we got to Sand. Sorry, we wouldn't have hit Wooded yet by the time we made it. It didn't make it optimal at all. But changing the painting order and doing Wooded first, way we can just get that hint art after hitting the moon cube, which is surprisingly pretty fast. Like, it's a bigger effect.
Pretty crazy how much you do in like some of the smaller areas in these kingdoms.
Coming
like,
up, Danger is a Toad jump, like a jump to Captain Toad, using the rocket flowers. The jump seems but there's actually a lot of room for error. Like, I feel like you'd have to vector really poorly to actually...
Yeah, who would ever not be able to get it in their run and try it 3 or 4 times and then eventually have to ask how to get to Captain Toad normally?
You?
Well, I didn't want to name any names.
Anyway.
But that's also Bailey's favorite movie.
The Captain Toad?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a pretty
cool.
He
loves that jump. He might have actually changed his favorite move since then, but I'm pretty sure that he's answered several times. That's like his favorite jump in the game, at least.
I mean, yeah, that's a pretty cool... You know, if someone watching this doesn't play the game actively, they're like, wow, that jump's insane! But realistically, it's not that bad. You just have to vector properly. And there's a lot of room for error.
Zinpars having fun with the most complex boss fight in the game.
Yup.
Meanwhile, Dangerous is collecting nuts.
Torque Drift is definitely a boss. It's fun.
Not even clipping through the ground and losing a run.
I have actually died to Torque Drift before. It wasn't fun.
It's like, it feels really bad.
It is bad! Especially if you die on, like, the 3rd phase. It's like a 2... Because the fight's
I'm not even talking about time-wise. I'm just saying, like, it feels bad to die to him.
It feels horrible to die to any of the bosses in this game.
No.
None of them are really...
I was fine dying to Mecha.
Honestly, I feel like 4-cycling Mecha Wiggler is much worse than dying to him. Wise.
I would agree. Like, there is, I think that there is definitely a point in the Mecha fight where, like, resetting the fight and then, like, attempting it again is definitely faster than doing it intended.
Well, actually, no, I mean, it's still faster than dying, but, like, just shame-wise, worse.
Danger's getting that floating moon, which seems scarier than it is.
Meanwhile, I have to refresh.
Zinpars now hitting Moon Cube. Alright, so Dangerous is now at the point where we will see how he's doing on his bird cycle, because it is right around here. If he's a bit early, he can attempt to do this timer challenge, but that is extreme. That's if you're, like, real early. But there's the bird over there, and he has opted just to make sure he gets the bird here. So he's gonna boop, and he's gonna put that moon over there, and he's gonna go ahead and do this since, you know, the whole, like, moon floating animation, he can't actually collect it instantly. So he's just gonna do this timer challenge and guarantee that he can pick it up when he goes for it immediately.
Okay, I'm back. I don't know what happened there. I think my mic just... Stupid thing. Oh, I've been having a lot of issues.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, well.
It could only happen during a 3-hour one.
Yeah, it's only a 3-hour commentary, no big deal.
I'm glad I filled up my water before this.
I'm totally not for the 4th time. Anyways, now I have stream feedback. How did the bird?
Bird went pretty well. He was there, and he was there early enough that he opted just to wait instead of doing timer. Like, to even consider doing timer.
Well, would be did you bird, but if you're fat, timer before the bird. But that's really risky time.
Yeah.
You can't make a lot of mistakes in that bird. Zinpars?
Oh, Zinpars. Recover. Oh.
Wait, what?
This is. Oh, you'll see. Oh
what? No! What? Oh. Okay. Sure. Wait. Dude! What? Wow. Talk about save/fail in speedrunning. He
Oh, that
saved
was such
it,
a roller coaster of emotions, dude.
then failed it again. That's incredible. That is incredible.
Dangers will be leaving Wooded here soon. Just a couple more moons.
Keep in mind that Wooded is one of the longer kingdoms in this post-game run.
So it does, it makes sense where they are in relation. And now he's going to sand. I almost said luncheon, because I'm so used to that painting being in luncheon. And Zinpars abusing the fact that this game is in 3D and, taking a shortcut down to this moon. While Dangers gets, Dune Moon. I don't know why do they call that a hill? And now he's gonna unlock that moon. And Mooncube unlocks a lot of moons here. It may not look like it on the map, but a lot of those are sub-areas, so... Now let's see, so there are moons in this game that dogs dig up. And they have to, travel a certain distance away and then go... they have to, follow a path to get to the moon before they can start pawing at it, and then you can ground pound to dig it up. But in Odyssey, things, only really exist when they're on screen. So you'll see here, Dangers tries to keep that dog on screen the entire time, even when it's really inconvenient. And that's so that that dog exists and is moving towards the part so that he can start, the moon can become available.
Okay, I'm back. Had a mild IR.
Yep.
Expecting a 3-hour commentary.
Man, I straight up ate during this.
Yeah? I don't blame you.
I mean, and he also just collected Speed Moon that we planted a long time ago. Probably 2 hours ago, actually.
Yeah, close. Probably a little bit long, actually.
And he did also just, because he did that camera manipulation, that dog was ready as soon as he got it.
Yep.
So he didn't have to wait at all for the really long dog trek. And also you will be hearing this music that we had to do for the Toad Music Moon. And if things go according to plan, you're going to be hearing this music for a while.
Well, by a while. Minute and a half. It's not that long. It's much longer than AUM.
Oh, really?
But in Darker Side, it's not that long at all. It's about 1.5 minutes. It's up until you ride Jaxie to get the bird in the swamp.
That's so weird to me.
Because
Jaxie's music overrides.
And we didn't ride Jaxie in Visit 1, so... Because we didn't ride Jaxie in the first visit, Jaxie music overrides the music track. Now, something cool about that track selection from the music, we have a choice of different themes, because all he wants is a boss theme. So you can literally pick any, and it would still give you the mood. So, the fastest one to use is the second Bowser fight, because it's literally exact.
Zinpars taking the easier way to get through the bullet bill room. Instead of doing the jumps, he just captures a bullet bill and rides the bullet bill to the end. It's slightly slower, I think.
Yeah, I want to say
it's not by much.
It's I don't know how much. So that's the thing.
And now that Dangerous has ridden Jaxie, as Agron just explained, we are free from the music. Zinpars is approaching the end of Wooded.
So I would say the two runners at this point is 1.5 minutes. Sand is a very long kingdom, and Dangers is approaching the halfway point of it. While Zinpars is about to end. I'd say 6.5 minutes is a fair guesstimate. At least I would say that. This is having a little bit of trouble with this timer. This will cost him a little bit of time. He actually is getting the moon. He had problems with the fastest strat is to do a triple jump dive up there, but
while he was struggling with that, Dangers is getting some really bad fish.
This is really bad.
This is frustratingly bad.
How many bites was that?
It was less about the bites, and it was more that I think the fish disappeared.
Oh.
So he had to, like, the fish took a long time, and
yeah, that's
then
even
he had
worse.
to re-enter.
Yeah, that's even worse than getting a bad amount of bites.
Bite-wise, I think that it was 3rd or 4th when you ended up getting it. Which is
I feel like that's
below like the average what we want. Yeah, the average is around 3 bites. Or I shouldn't say that's the expected value.
Something that I didn't mention, well, Dangers is potential optimal, like, is that you can add to the Eastern Pillar Moon, where you use the motion to get the bullet bill there relatively fast. This is actually a moon that suggested to be added. I guess it has my impact in it a little bit. I mean, realizations for it to actually belong in the route, but it's gotta account for something, right?
Hey man, part of my contribution were like labbing fish a little bit. So like I wanted to find a more consistent way to get fish onto fighting. Not the number of fights, but like guaranteeing that the fish is like attracted to you. So like that's what I did for a bit.
Yeah. Meanwhile, just took a couple of hits in this tower. That's definitely going to be a little bit of time loss, because I think the bullet bills are on, or like the platforms above him are on. You pretty much can't really speed. So as long as you don't take damage in this tower, you really don't lose time. But I guess that doesn't really matter in this case, does it? Something Dangerous could have done there was hop out the pylon early to dive onto the pyramid instead of popping out at the very end of it. That's a free
I think he just wanted to play it like a little bit more safe. Probably just like wasn't...
Potentially.
Yeah.
But it is actually noticeably faster, for sure.
Oh, Zinpars. Zinpars meaning to take the bullet bill through that hole, but ends up just hitting the edge of it.
Oh. That's annoying. That is very annoying, actually.
And now we get a hint art.
So if we did Wake first, the painting order wouldn't have allowed us to do this hint art in second visit. Because we would have visited Sand before Wooded. Basically, the only thing that doing Wooded first is it swaps the position painting route. So look after Metro instead of after Seaside. The Jaxie ruins, but it didn't really cost him that. Because I feel like that ledge is
struggling to... Oh, it's too real.
Whoa, what is this?
It's...
I don't think I've ever seen that mistake before.
Sometimes when you jump off of Jaxie, it is extremely easy to jump back onto Jaxie, and it is pretty annoying.
It looked like he had Jaxie inside of the timer, like the timer scarecrow, which didn't allow him to cap it, because obviously Jaxie was Box. That's what it looked like anyway. Danger's opting to the timer challenge on top of the bullet bill is kind of safe. You could grab your cap earlier there. The movement to do that can be annoying and frustrating. Danger's spanking the sheep for good luck. Hey man, you gotta do it.
Listen, I'm just saying that if you're doing Goomba picture match, you have to make him smile. Explained this many times, but if you make the Goomba frown, you're deciding to make that Goomba unhappy. When you have all the power to make him happy. See how Zinpars fishing goes.
Hopefully a little bit better.
Oh, that's just a smidgen.
Whoa, that was instantaneous. That was definitely a first. It's funny how you can just kind of tell, even though we obviously can't feel the vibrations in their controller.
I actually, so, other people have told me that they have, like, trouble getting the fish to like, get on to the biting part, and I don't really have a problem. I never really had a problem with that. But I have the embarrassing problem of, I actually have a hard time telling when they do the big bite.
I still remember before...
I play on Joy-Con.
I still remember before I ran this category, and, you know, was doing bingo for the Speed Gaming Tournament. In fact, I'm pretty sure you were commentating my match, actually. I might have spent 4 minutes Lakitu fishing.
No, I don't think I commentated the match. Dude, if I commentated the match as a 4-minute fish, I would just be...
No, you did! I specifically remember rewatching the VOD just to hear your reaction.
Dude, that's ridiculous. Did I blot it out?
I guess you just blocked it out of your memory because it was just that traumatizing.
Like, back in the day, everyone hated fishing. Like, Trihex hated fishing. Bayleaf was like, yeah, it's pretty bad. And, like, 2 other people were like, yeah, fishing's, like, some of the worst part of the game. And I was like, you guys are crazy, it's not that bad. There are way worse components. I was like, Sphinx Clip is so dumb.
Yeah.
But then, like...
definitely my fault, just for not knowing how to actually capture the fish. Like...
But, like, now, months later, like, I've had to watch Bayleaf, like, 2 or 3 world record pace run to fish.
Yeah, it happens. Some unlucky bites, and that's all it is, pretty much. Zinpars trying to do the bullet bill jump to get onto this area. Successfully does it with 1 HP left.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's pretty scary to do that with only 1 HP, but you know.
I guess he was like, screw it, at that point.
Yeah.
Neither
Danger's
opting to dive out of the pylon early.
Danger's getting, I believe, the only one of 2 binocular moons, or the only binocular moon in this route?
The technically only binocular moon. I'm saying there are locations of the route where you can do TNT.
Okay.
The Binox moon. Use the Binox to do TNT in that route.
And we use the binoculars on this moon because this is the fastest binoculars moon in the game.
We need the... That's the thing with it. We need 35 captures by the end of the... Rox is a really fast capture. You'll also notice that Dangers didn't opt to Scoot Clip with the... Well, Scoot Clip is tricky on its own, and like I said, we need captures, so it's not really that much faster to clip when we
I believe that some runners do Scooter Clip and they just route in a different capture.
Yes, there are several captures that you to offset the capture count. You can do the letter, which I believe Danger is just captured for safety. Cute clip. Before, it was faster to, manipulate and Luncheon to shoot the fireballs instead of capturing it ourselves. We used to get that instead. Captures have gone through quite a bit of modification. There's also the
it was like something else that I thought was pretty weird. So we didn't used to get all the capture achievements.
Well, we still.
I mean, we don't currently, but like we didn't. We used to get 1 less capture achievement than we do now, I think.
The get now is up to 35. We have 35 unique captures.
Yeah, and I think we used to only go up to like the
25 one.
Yeah. So people like back in the day, like people didn't care about captures at all. It was like if you're under captures, you really messed up.
Yeah, but now it's like, I mean, it's not really that big of a deal because like all of the captures are out. So if you, that's on you for sure. But like, Danger's doing a pretty interesting fork flicking strat to get to this bunny. There's a much riskier move that you can do there. That's like, I don't know, 1.5, 2 seconds faster, something like that. You can do one fork fling with the first. Why am I calling them forks? They're poles. I'm thinking of the forks in Luncheon. Damn it. Okay. Listen, they're poles, not forks. Anyways. Dangerous is just using these poles to flick around Mario at very high momentum across the kingdom.
For a second, I was so confused why he stopped in this room. Oh, that civilian!
Wait.
Oh
what?
my lord!
Okay, that was actually kind of nutty. So, Dangerous talked to the crowd from the front. You usually turn around and back. So, the extra moon that appears in this crowd room that you normally... There's a third moon that appears. It's for the Hat and Seek achievement. Also, it's there. This is the only 3 moons total in the end. It makes no sense, but it's there, so...
And then Dangerous moves on to like this island out here, which is like its own little micro route, because we do things in this order to give the dog enough time to get over here. The dog has to get those coins
okay,
first.
you got it. Okay. For a second there, I wasn't sure if Dangerous grabbed the moon from the bird on the first pass.
So like this little small area's route is such that we spend a little time awaiting on the dog, but it is still pretty annoying.
Yeah, there's basically routed that in a way so that way you can just kind of just collect other things while the dog is digging stuff up. And it just so happens to work that it's fast enough to...
And Zinpars is in Metro now.
Here's making the sub-area look very easy. I mean, it's not really hard, but there's definitely ways to mess it up pretty easily.
Binoculars just troll Zinpars a bit.
Sub-area. I think where the Sphinx was there for a sec. Either that or motion controls were being done.
I think it was motion control since he's on
I can't decide which one. Dangers is climbing the big tower.
We'll see how he does with the scooter here. You use a scooter to get this moon, and then in order to get another moon, we just kind of jump off this, and we drop it so we can get another moon in the meantime.
Yeah, you have to drop the scooter near the other moon, though. It's not really, like... It's not really,
a pretty bad drop.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely lost some time on the drop. I think he was just playing it safe, to be honest, because there have been times where... I wouldn't say I've overshot it, but, like, it's been, like, on the edge of the literal platform.
Oh,
speaking of scooters, Zinpars opting to scoot quick. Oh. Yeah, okay, that's a very smart backup. Because he was not gonna make that jump.
He was definitely not gonna make that, so avoiding that early was like a pretty good play.
I think the initial strat was do a triple jump off of... Yeah, to get to Captain Toad with some fast dives.
Oh, Zinpars doesn't do fire escape for that timer challenge.
It do the fire escape, but it's also nice in my opinion. Like, there's a lot of ways to mess it up.
Dangers gets this bird.
Dangers making look very easy. It's not really that easy. So, you probably noticed that he turned his camera early to pretty much making any progress while he was still on the top when he first loaded in. We don't, crack at the bird, per se. And now he's in bullet building, which can be pretty infuriating sometimes. Those poles don't have the best hitboxes for Mario to, like, grab onto them. So, personally, for me, I just do a vault across without even grabbing the poles, but, like, it's not really anything, I just don't like those poles. And like I said earlier, we are in Lake now, at least for dangers, anyway. You won't be seeing any...
Zinpars is still a bit away from that, though.
Yeah, quite a bit. Like I said, maybe a little over a half a kingdom behind now.
Oh, Dangers is back. Oh my lord. Fish are conspiring against Dangers this run.
This run, I didn't see how good... This lake fish especially, though, is known for not being nice at all to the runner. Because for some reason, it likes to run into the wall. And you can't really fish it's running up against the wall.
I have tech.
Alright. Vash has the secret fishing tech.
do. There was a night where like Bailey's ended stream, and then for like an hour and a half, I went over how I fish it, going from that checkpoint.
Oh my god.
This is what I do. I sometimes like a runner will just be like, go lab this inane task, and I'll be like, I'll attempt.
Ooh, Danger's opting to do a vault to get up to where the moon cube is in Lake. I can't say I've ever seen a vault. I don't know if that's faster per se, but it looked cool, I guess. Oh, I personally just do a double jump from where you get the notes moon to reach the platform. Danger's landing usually you would throw Cappy at it to ensure that you hit the bird. Oh. Danger's killing some Goombas. That's okay. We only need one.
Plenty to spare.
Plenty to spare. Exactly that.
Zinpar's having a little bit of trouble with the dog in this area.
Alright, now coming up to one of my favorite sub-areas in the game, actually. The Poison Wave sub-room. I like a lot. So there's a very insane cycle that you can try and make in this room. Dangers obviously isn't going to go for it because it only saves 2 seconds. But it looks really cool if you can pull it off.
And he gets a first try. This is also Bailey's favorite sub-area.
Ah, neat. Great minds think alike, I guess.
It scares me.
No insane cycle, but he decided to play it safe. Definitely the smart move in, in a race. There's not really a reason to risk for those 2 seconds when you can potentially lose up to 30. Zinpar is having a little bit of issues in the Pitch Black Mountain subroom.
He should be going up the scooter now, right?
It looks like he figured it out. Yeah, Zinpars will be going up to get the scooter and start that sequence of moons.
I love the way that we climb the tower. The backflip.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me just do
Pretty snazzy.
4 backflips.
Hey, those are harder to time than it seems, though. Because, like, all of your backflips and dives need to be timed to, like, perfectly spaced so that the wedge is
so you
below.
get max height.
So... It's definitely than it looks. So you might be thinking, we make this deep dive all the way into, well, in post-game there's a second, so it just makes it that much more.
Yeah. When you go down, it's, say, 7 or 10 seconds, which is, like, bad timing-wise, but when it's 10 seconds for 2 moons, it's...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the timing works itself out. You're collecting a moon every 20 seconds in the post-game of this run.
Plus, it's a Captain Toad, so,
which goes
Toad
towards
Head
an
achievement.
achievement. I believe
So, like, really, we get
throughout...
kind of at, like, 2.2 moons or something like that.
So, because Maze, he will on several 8-bit areas that used to be in the route. I don't even know why I'm saying used to be, I still do them, because, but... he'll be skipping out on them to do the Ocean Maze. Which has more than enough 8-bit moons to cover to skip 3 other 8-bits.
Dangers in a very scary and frustrating room.
I also thought Lake has a lot of good sub-areas.
Did you just say that you like this sub-area?
Yes, I do.
Speed Gaming, can we eject this man from the call? I hate this.
Listen, I have some reasons. I think the movement that you do to get around it is really unique. Like Cash doing any of these strats. Like, we don't use the ledges, like, at all, optimally.
Listen, this room is a nightmare, and I hate it.
I'm sorry, Vash, but maybe it's just because you can't
It
do
hurt me. Although I do love Zinpars does this unique strat with the purples in this room. And
oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
where he wraps around
Mm-hmm.
and it blows my mind.
That's really hard to do. But luckily we don't have to worry about purples in this run. So yeah,
Zinpars hitting expected value on that fish.
Is we don't collect any purples whatsoever. 500 moons in the game. None of them require collecting any purples, so there's no need to collect purples.
But
And by purples, I mean the regional coins. Listen. Sometimes they're just in the way. Like, there's literally 3 when you come out the Poda booth in first visit. Just on that fork. See, now they're forks, not poles.
No, now they're poles, not fork.
Okay, Vash.
Now we're fighting Hatter.
We already killed all the Hatters. I'm sorry, fainted. This is a Nintendo title.
I hate the fact that I had to sit there and think, wait a minute, have we beaten all the Hatters?
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I mean, yeah, dude. we have peace everywhere. Unless, like, one of them's just living peacefully and we just go, you know, rough them up for the fun.
I mean, I guess technically Rango's still alive since we skipped the second fight.
Well, no, he just doesn't exist.
No. The is the Ice Lurker.
Oh my lord, Zinpars.
Meanwhile,
Oh my.
I guess I'm about to see what you're
So close on that cap jump. The wave moved cap.
I think initially go for a faster cycle there, but then chickened out of it though. Because he was doing movement for it at first. So, an optimization that was action is we now the Captain Toad moon last instead of the moon on the roof. This allows us to actually save close seconds, I believe. We interesting strat here to the lake painting jump that we will not be seeing in this run, unfortunately, because we come in from the lake painting. But we use the platforms from the timer challenge to get over to Toad. So this is indeed the luncheon timer jump. It's a little bit tricky, but Dangers nails it.
Yep.
He did. I don't blame him. I don't think he would have made it without taking damage, without the rainbow spin.
Zinpars is now on the descent, but also Dangers is now dumping the moon.
Yes, because Dangers 3 route, we actually cut luncheon in visits instead of mushroom. So we're going to be taking a short detour to go to all of the kingdoms that aren't on the painting route. And then we'll be back to finish up luncheon in about probably 15 to 20 minutes. And the balloon inflates. Now,
Wait a minute, that's not 500.
No, it's not.
And that's because it isn't like optimal for us to just dump to 500 because we can get faster moves in other places.
Unfortunately, we can't skip the cutscene where it's like, you can go to Dark Side now, the much less cooler kingdom. So, unfortunately, we can't skip that, so we just have to make sure not to accidentally go there.
I still kind of like Dark Side,
you would expect,
but only for the Hintar. I like Hintar. The whole boss rush thing.
I guess some of the sub areas in Darker Side are cool, but Dark Side.
Let's not go crazy.
I mean, you do that really annoying boss rush, so no thanks.
Yeah,
I'll take a pass.
I'm a pass on the boss rush.
I actually am a firm believer that the boss Darker Side. Personally.
You're a believer.
I did Darker Side first before the boss rush.
Oh, I did Dark Side first. But I collected, I think, like every other moon.
But I was just like, eh. Yeah, I'm gonna go unlock the final level first, then we'll go do the boss rush. So, I didn't actually mention this, but Danger's, fall attempting a pretty hard strat, jump that we do to get to the moon cube immediately. So in the old route, there was, a moon that you got with the frog. Wait.
You'll see.
Wait. What? Wait, what did... No, like, what did he even bonk on? Oh.
He just slightly misangled his jump.
Danger, very unfortunate death.
Oh my lord. Alright, so, shifting over for a second.
Stuff is happening.
Zinpars is in the flower room.
There's a lot of stuff happening right now. So Danger's has taken 2 deaths trying to do this timer challenge strat. I think at this point, go for it. What he's trying to do is he's trying to throw Cappy backwards onto the Scarecrow, and then dive immediately as the timer platforms spawn. Nah, he's gonna play it safe for the 3rd time. I don't blame him. It's a really annoying strat. It's pretty hard. And it doesn't...
It was just a series of unfortunate events.
Pretty... Zinpars having a lot of trouble that in the box. And then Danger's having quite the number of death challenge. And by quite the number.
And Zinpars is in Luncheon soon, which means that he will soon be in Cap.
Vash, let ask you a question. Is it faster to do roll boost room warp, like in the rolling room?
I'm pretty sure.
Area that Dangerous is in. Is it faster to do roll boosts?
I'm pretty sure.
You would think that. In some parts, but rolling for most of it without roll boost actually faster.
Because I'm pretty sure that, like, on literally any time you aren't going, like, down the hill, like the steeper parts, right? You're supposed to roll boost?
Most of the time you're going down a slope, though.
Well, yeah, but they're like, I just mean,
like, going down a slope, but, like, most of the time you're large slope, so it's actually faster to not roll boost in that room. Like, there's certain spots that you should definitely do it, but...
I mean, why would you roll? I mean, you could just walk through the whole...
Actually, it will automatically, you know, put Mario in the rolling state as soon as you touch that slope. So, you cannot walk through that room. You grab the ledge down the slope, though. I don't know why you would ever do that, but you can do it. Zinpar is showing off Port's room.
It's always showing off those Joy-Con strats.
So, Danger's just, entered another bird cycle when he, death warped after and all the way out in the fog. This, bird cycle is probably the 2nd trickiest to do, next to the wooded bird cycle. They're both pretty tight. This one's tight for different reasons. There's a lot more, I guess, heavy execution in this bird cycle, unlike the wooded one, where you can kind of just be an uproot and just pray that that movement doesn't mess you up. He should be okay, though. He hasn't made anything that should make him miss the bird cycle.
Zinpar's going for a timer challengeless platform jump?
Mm-hmm. Danger's went for it, too. This is... Wait, what? Oh. Never mind.
Yeah.
Huh.
Wow.
Okay. I mean, that's one way.
It's been a while since I've seen that strat.
That's definitely not faster, I can tell you that right now. But
That was... It's so scary to watch that strat.
So... For some reason, the Paragoomba capture is really annoying to use in this game. Sensitivity to make it move fast is significantly harder to trigger to make this is I don't know why. Also, different number moon count to what Danger's had. Zinpars has 1 extra moon to Danger's. at the moon dump.
But both steadfast approaching that 500 mark. Danger's
Yep.
at 416 at the moment.
Dangers is an entire cap kingdom ahead of Zinpars. So about 6. Dangers definitely had some trouble in that cap, so that definitely weakened the gap just slightly.
Zinpars opting not to go for crazy jump.
Yeah, so if you don't do the Gomba sitting over here, I think this is the intended way to reach the moon cube.
Yeah, definitely.
So you can do that. Alright, Dangers has entered, in most people's opinions that run the scariest kingdom in this run. Lost 2 is ridiculous. It wasn't always like this, though. When we rerouted a lot of aspects of Darker, we moved a lot of moons around in Lost between the 2 visits. And it ended up making in Lost 2 some of the most intensive movement in this run. Like, there are a couple coming up where it's very easy to die.
Zinpars playing the cap timer a little bit safer.
Mm-hmm. So, the first scary part was getting into this toad room. That jump's scary for its own reasons. It's not really difficult, but it's trickier to get out of the room, in my opinion. Because there's not a lot of room that you have to jump out without accidentally bonking on the ceiling. Like, Mario doesn't actually bonk, but his head hits the ceiling, causing him to not get as much height when jumping out of the room. And then these shards. Dangers is making these look very easy, but like, they aren't that... Like, a lot of the movement that he's doing is tricky to do quick.
And Dangers is about... Oh, he's gonna use Wiggler. I was just about to say, there is,
Wigglerless is confirmed to be faster, but
it's also stressful.
he's probably opting for easier time with this. Especially since getting out the Wiggler can be a real chore if you're not careful. So, if you use you easily with the Wiggler as well. And that just makes it significant would be otherwise. So we are approaching the end of Lost Kingdom.
Zinpars getting that YOLO jump. It's actually not that hard, but it looks scary.
In the fog, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not difficult, but it can be a pain. It's definitely... So you're like, well, why? So, which allows us to get 2 moons, basically, because there's a moon sitting underneath that tree, and we're able to get it within the time limit of the timer challenge.
Also,
so
not as hard as it seems, but it does look a lot scary.
Yeah. Like, what to do between getting that moon during the timer challenge, it's not that bad. I will admit, when I started running the category, I did that moon separate to the timer challenge. Like, I did the timer challenge and then went back for it.
Yeah.
safer play. But
Back when I did
go
my run, that
fast.
wasn't even something we were considering.
To go fast, yeah, timer challenge. Now, another interesting thing about Darker Side is since you're not collecting all of the moons in the game, obviously, there's plenty of backup run. However, wait to decide if we need backups until we do the moon dump. Because there's a couple-ish moons that were initial, but were cut over time. But these are still very good backup moons if you miss moons throughout the run. Wooded Bird being a great, very easy moon. Like, a very easy moon to miss. I'm not saying it's easy to not miss it. I'm saying it's very easy to miss.
Yeah, the run used to be a lot scarier when there was only like one moon dump, because very late in the run you would just discover, oh, I missed something somewhere.
Are you saying with the old route with 3 mushroom visits?
Yeah.
I mean,
With,
you still visit the same kingdoms that you used to, you do, like you split up Luncheon. But it's still basically the same route. Just a little bit slower because of the text box.
And
Danger's making
is
his
now here for lunch 3. Which I'm pretty sure lunch 3 is like pretty short.
Luncheon 3 is actually longer than lunch 2. I think. Either that or they're about... split the kingdom about halfway. So, hard to justify, I guess. Danger's opting to play a little bit safe in this sub-room. There is a strat that you can go for that isn't exactly hard, but if you mess it up, it definitely obviously loses a lot of time.
And Zinpars now starting the scary parts of Lost.
What do you mean, Vash? All of Lost is scary.
Not all of it.
One mistake and you're losing close to a minute.
There's a nice calming part where you use the Wiggler to get the bunny.
If you opt not to do Wigglerless. But yeah, I guess you're right.
It's like the only time where you breathe during this.
Danger's doing an up throw to capture the Goombas immediately once he grabbed the moon. Unfortunately, he ran into a witch, forced him to lose, and didn't allow him to get that up throw. He immediately had to try again. So we are nearing the end of this run. This is the last major kingdom in the run, pretty much. Zinpars, very interesting movement to get on top of this stump. Can't say I've seen do that. Not saying it's slow, I'm just saying I haven't seen it before.
When he bonked that first time. Because as soon as he bonked, I was like, I'm not sure if where he lands.
Nah, he was living. He's playing his shards a little bit, which is totally fair. This is a very scary moon. Gonna get the snow hint art first. Can throw.
He did not get the hint art.
From the platform that the moon appears to get the last shard. Yeah, okay. It looks like that he just did the art second. He could have opted for some risky movement that I believe they use in the Dark Side run from the Snow Hintar up to this moon. But, not too many people run Dark Side actively, so I barely even know what that movement looks like.
I couldn't tell you.
I ran the category once and was like, it's not a bad category, just all the other categories are better. That's pretty much to sum up Dark. No, it's not a bad category, just all the other categories are better. So,
Zinpars,
the worst category.
Messed up his order a little bit.
It really doesn't matter what order you collect these moons in, as long as you hit the staircase first. Oh, I think the
I didn't even notice that he missed it. I forgot that a cutscene plays, so I thought he landed it the first time.
I think he was trying to collect them during the trapedal, blowing up the rock, but it just didn't quite work out in his favor. Also, I didn't mention this while Dangerous wasn't lost, but notice how we collected all three of that any % trio moons that you would % after you trigger Klepto. Up on the getting the moon cube. It just so happened the three any % moons backwards from where the moon cube is. It's just a little bit faster. So
It's also like pretty interesting because, like, disregarding Toad, I think that those are the moons closest together. They have like the most amount that we get so close together.
I think so. Like, yeah, and Lost particularly. Also, notice how Zinpars opted to play getting both of the moons within the, like, the other moon within the
He didn't get the other moon during the time.
So
He got the timer and then got the other.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. He opted to play it safe, like I was saying before. So there's not a lot to do in Moon Kingdom on the second visit, but coming here is for two reasons. One, there's like 5 moons back to back to back in this beginning section. And 2, to come to Moon to complete the tourist sequence. Also, Zinpars finding some hidden block existed. Is that the intended way to get that moon?
That's the intended way to get that moon.
What? What's the point? Couldn't you just, like, long jump from the top? That's so Ninja blocks in the game is the intent to get the moon.
What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to see the moon's shadow, and then just jump in the moon's shadow, because all the blocks are right underneath it.
Oh, so it's like a perception test.
Yeah.
Nah, man, I don't buy it. Those are Kaizo blocks. Danger's in Mushroom 2. We don't do too much here in terms of actually moving around the kingdom. Well, I would say that, but this is the Luncheon 3 route, so we actually do all of the moons that we would have done in first visit, plus the second visit. So, not quite. On the second return trip to Mushroom 3 route. So.
And they both still have Goomba jumps to do, I think.
Yes. He still has to do Goomba jump.
Zinpar's now leaving Moon.
They
Very
both
short
still
visit, but I mean.
actually, they both did the same route. The only difference was that Zinpars did Old Deepwood, so he was able to opt out of a different moon. I believe that was the only difference in their routes? No, Zinpars didn't do East... No, he did, but he did Employees first, which doesn't make the cycle as nice. So, something like that. Anyways,
I think that
dangers.
there have been some other like, small differences.
Yeah. Like I said, any are pretty insignificant in the long run. It's just interesting to see what each runner prefers. Like, for example, I still get Metro Shop in my route. Because it's just a nice, safe moon that I know that I can rely on.
In my route, I still get sand shards.
No, you don't.
I mean, I've only ever run once.
Oh, because you didn't clip, okay.
Yeah, I tried for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
I was about to say, Bash, please. Alright, so here's Goomba Jump. There, it's done. Goomba Jump is one of the first things you did in post-game, and the jump is a lot harder than it looks, because you have to, like, you know, make the Goomba move in a specific that allows it to jump on, like, the very edge of the hill. That's how you get the most momentum from the jump. You don't need, but you just need enough. But the reason why it's tricky is because sometimes, when you do the jump, you're either too far down on the water, or or down on the slope and you gain no momentum in the water.
The most like important thing generally is just making sure you hit the slope and get any amount of momentum.
Meanwhile, saving himself, kind of. That was very interesting backup, but it kind of worked. Alright. I'll buy it. And we can pretty much turn our eyes towards Zinpars' screen for a bit, because Danger Resident Sleeper.
We also, no, we have to watch Dangers because we need to be able to count how much time he saves from first person.
I mean, it's like 10 seconds total. I think.
I don't
mean,
think
it's enough to get a free mushroom thrilled for in a while. So that's cool, I guess. Also, I didn't mention this when Dangers was in Luncheon, but the Music Toad in Luncheon, the technically fast track to use is track 4, but who wants to listen to the Dino music for like almost 4 minutes or whatever? I'd listen to the end of the escape sequence, which is track 4.
Zinpars going for first person to save time there, and it didn't actually work out.
I think oh, yeah, okay. I see it now. That's the thing with person to talk to every NPC. Sometimes you don't have the right, and then you just end up wasting more time than you would have had you just talked to them normally.
Yeah, but I would probably still go for it, like, literally every time. Because, I mean, it's like,
there's pretty much no reason not to, so, like,
yeah.
It's pretty much a safe bet that you should just go for first person every time. Meanwhile, Dangers, I think, is probably halfway through his Toadette Moon collection. It's hard to tell because he also has the moons from Luncheon. So.
It's also pretty hard to tell because I don't read Japanese.
I think he's halfway, though. Because we get 31 Toadette moons. in the run. So, and these are just achievements that we have collected by playing the route. Zinpar is doing a vault there. I think that was just for safety, because you can definitely make that jump with a walk, with quite a bit of room to spare. And by quite a bit of room to spare, I mean you can barely make it, but it's difficult to make that consistently.
Zinpars is almost out of luncheon now as well.
Mm-hmm. It looks like the gap that 6.5 minutes is about the same.
Yeah.
I think this means Zinpars is actually on PB pace.
Wouldn't surprise me too much.
Certain, but I think Zinpar's PB is like a 3-4. So he might be on PB pace. Probably on PB pace. Because Mushroom 2/3 doesn't take that long. It's, I think 8 minutes or something. So on pace for a mid 3:30 run. Meanwhile,
And Dangerous has a magic
rings.
number.
Finally getting... There's not really that many backups that you can go for once you're in Mushroom Kingdom, so you really want to make sure that you have the right amount of moons and that you're not... There's only one reliable backup, and that's the Note Swell, but even that isn't whatsoever. Try and make sure that you have all of your Toadette achievements. Danger's entering Darker Side. So, if this goes well for him, Darker Side takes like the whole split in general. So if this goes well, he'll get a high 327.
Yeah. If it goes well, which I mean, I don't have any doubts that he's gonna do well here, but you never know, Darker Side.
Getting sub 330 is definitely a very... I mentioned before that it's the really the average though, because the thing is this category isn't ran by a lot of runs. And not that many people have sub 330. So, like, it's a pretty respectable time to get in this category.
Yeah, I would say that even, like, runs under just, like, 4 hours are pretty respectable.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think my PB is like a 3:34:01 or something. Like,
Yeah,
I haven't
that's pretty
run the
good.
category in a while, and I've gotten a lot better at it since I have. So, I'm sure once I de-rust a bit, once I get actual time to run this category again. Sure. 30. Ooh. Dangerous. Definitely living on the dangerous side here.
Dangers and dangers.
Yep. Dangers in danger. The 1 HP is ticking. So, it might not seem like it, but it's actually faster to do this section without... If your cycle is optimal and your movement is good, you can beat waterway section by a whole cycle, which saves like, I think 6 seconds or something. But it's rough, and pretty much only Bayleaf and Neo do it as far as I know. Maybe it or to just take the uproot to the top and go along the shortcut, skipping the waterway.
Zinpars, close to Toadette Talks. Danger's coming up on Glydon.
Infamous Glydon. Danger's actually posing a sec for that triple jump on top of the blocks.
And making sure he's jump farming.
He's still got that AUM blood in him.
Doesn't like his height on the first Cyclone, so opts to try again, and he's definitely good on the second one.
So, for those, you can pretty much skip the remainder of the darker side using Glydon with the exploit that you can keep height the same as long as you're shaking. There is a small catch to this. I think Nintendo kind of this from happening, so they put like an auto on capture box around where the Bowser is. Like, it doesn't even matter because you can kind of be on the side of it and be still. Danger's actually living really close to that barrier. It isn't visible, so there's no way to tell if you're gonna hit it or not. You just have to kind of like feel it. I usually play it safe, because I've actually killed myself at the end of Darker Side twice, hugging that wall too close.
And Dangers will be doing like one of the last tricks of the run here, where he skips the U. It saves like a second.
It's the thank you letters. Welcome to speedrunning, where you even cheese the thank you letters.
Meanwhile, Zinpars is still talking to Toadette.
So Dangerous has pretty much reached the end of the run. All he has to do now is just climb the replica tower up to the top and grab the multi-moon at the very tip. Now Cappy is actually saying some really heart... Unfortunately, I can't understand any of that because we're playing... But if we were playing in English, it is pretty heartwarming. Because it is the long journey's end, as this multi-moon is called. And that is time for Dangers 3:27:42.
Not bad, not bad.
There were definitely mistakes in his run, but I feel like most of them were either backed up very nice that were made were very minor. The only mistake that I can really remember that was really not good was taking close seconds to do Snowclip.
Well, also Cap.
Oh yeah, Cap.
The timer.
I already blotted it out of my mind because it was really bad. I think he lost a minute in Cap alone. It's a mid 3:26. But this is still a very respectable time, especially for a race. GG to Dangers. Who actually PB'd recently in this category. So.
Pretty interesting that both runners are on PB pace.
Well, like I said, Danger's PB'd, I think, yesterday or the day before. So. He's pretty behind his PB. But it was still a very respectable run. But Zinpars is definitely on pace to get close to a 5-minute PB. He just has to complete the darker side.
Home stretch now.
Pretty much.
It's a leaderboard. And he gets through this, like, pretty simple part pretty quickly.
Yeah, there's not really too much to say. The darker side, for being the final level, there's really only one tricky section in the whole level, I feel, and it's one of the sections that we skip. So, there's not really too much to say about darker side. Believe it or not, even though this is the category.
Oh, Zinpars. Getting off cycle and kind of just, like, not really understanding how to deal with it, so...
I guess I'll see what happens in a
sucks.
little bit. Whoa! Okay. He's still on PB pace, though.
And at the very least, at least it was a death early on in Darker Side.
You can lose up to 5 minutes at the very end of the run if you're not careful, depending on where you die in the gauntlet. Ooh. He's having a lot of trouble with the pulls.
Yeah.
It's okay though, you got through it. You got through it. Now he's just gotta do some dives across the movie of Bowser logo Bowser logo plot.
Lava bubble section. Little bit of struggle at the beginning, but...
He is having a lot of trouble right now. But once again, at least the mistake was of this particular section. So he was just able to quick and just capture another Potaboo. And try again. Of a deal. Not... Alrighty.
And also going for the uproot skip.
And we'll probably see him utilizing the uproot to take the same shortcut Dangers did. Like I said, uprootless is a strat that I believe only Bayleaf and... It's just not worth it, movement whatsoever. It ends up being much slower. Because you're waiting a whole cycle for those fuzzies to loop back around.
Yep. Making sure to spam Yoshi Tongue here.
It's actually... spamming the Yoshi Tongue to climb this. Because he gains height every single time he does this. So... I actually didn't know this at first. And then one day Kerbis was watching me run this category. Like, you should probably be doing...
Yeah, I thought, like...
Like, it's not really an obvious time save. Like, you wouldn't think that that would save time.
When I first started watching, I was like, why isn't everyone spamming the tongue? And people were like, well, what do you mean? I was like, well, I mean, he moves up. And people were like, what do you mean he moves up? I was like, I mean, watch it.
I mean he moves up. It's faster.
Alright, so here's what it all comes down to for him. Likes his height, so he's just gonna stick with this. He should be good.
Yeah, that looks good. It's a little bit monk-ass, but he should be okay.
He's on Joy-Con, so I have faith in his wiggling.
His wiggling. Yeah, thank goodness you don't have to shake Glidon, like shake the controllers hard to keep Glidon in the air. It's the Paragoomba. Otherwise, this section would be freaking stressful. Like, imagine having to put that much force to get Glidon to keep the height.
So much extra height that he actually took the fall stun.
Okay. Well, you played it safe. Didn't let Glidon live, though, so...
And now just the final stretch.
Cheesing the letters, going through the pipe. Now I just need... We're looking at a 6 here, I think. And like I said, this will be a pretty marginal PB for him.
$336.46 will be my guess.
Oh, okay, that was a guess. For a second there, I thought...
And a GG to Zinpars.
GG to both of the runners. A race on a PB. Oh wow, it was a 336.46.
I'll just go ahead and come clean. I had his stream open.
Dang it, Vash. I thought you read the future. I believed in you.
That was your first mistake.
Ooh. Fair enough. So, finished with this long journey. The run is over.
And so I think we'll be getting both of them in here for an interview.
Mm-hmm.
So congratulations on the win, Dangers.
Thank you very much.
Congrats.
It was an interesting journey, that's for sure.
Every darker side run is...
Always, yeah. This actually would have been a PB if I hadn't already yesterday. But, yeah, I mean, Snowclip was kind of a disaster. I did try to go for kind of the fast setup for the Moon Clip, which is kind of a risky choice, but went for it anyways. Ended up losing about a minute and a half just trying to get the downstairs clip to work. Cap Kingdom was...
Minute and a half?
Yeah, it was a minute and a half. Cap Kingdom was a little bit interesting on the revisit as well, to say
Cap
the
Kingdom
least.
Was like a minute time loss just because of the timer challenge.
Yeah, exactly. And it took, just everything about Cap Kingdom actually. Took me one extra try for the moon rock jump at the beginning as well, so.
Oh, I completely forgot about that too, but yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty rough Cap Kingdom. On the plus side though, Lost 2 was a gold split, so that's pretty cool. Don't see that every day, especially in a split that difficult, so. Yeah.
So.
Ups and downs, but I mean, like I said, this is my second best time in this category ever, so I'm not going to be too upset about a victory here.
Oh yeah, it was a very respectable run. I mean, one kingdom is almost expected to go bad in a run this long.
Indeed, yep.
What do you have to say about your runs in Fars?
Hello. I'm happy. It's like 4 minutes PB.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's a bit weird that things that usually work like first try or second try, like the clips and the chain jump and cascade, they did not want to work this run. That's a bit weird, but...
Hey, but you still PB'd. And you have
true.
that free time save for next run, so...
Yeah, true, there was a lot of silly time loss.
Definitely.
There were tons of golds, big golds even. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Always good to get golds.
Especially in a race, you know.
Exactly.
Even
And
better to keep.
At some point in Luncheon 1 and Ruined, I was 3 minutes behind, and at the end 4 minutes ahead, so... yeah.
Yeah, it just goes to show that the bulk of this run is the post-game. And you should never be concerned with trying to keep pace in the early game.
To be fair, I'm
Unless if you're
surprised that
daily.
my post-game was better than the early game, because I'm a bingo player, so... Oh, and so yeah, early game should be better for me, but... Well...
I mean, you would think that, but I feel like World Peace is more relatable to that early game than just having a lot of bingo experience.
Bingo
Yeah.
gives you some pretty good movement for like the first 4 kingdoms.
And also for World Peace.
Yeah, they're very
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah, there's definitely some similarities here and there. But I definitely felt like running World Peace for a bit improved my early game by at least a minute without even trying. So,
One other difference between both of your runs was one of you had some fun with fish.
Oh my goodness.
a lot of fun with fish.
Okay, so which one's the first fish in the run?
Snow.
That's Snow, right? Snow was okay. Snow was actually probably the nicest out of all of the fish this time, which is not a
Suspicion.
usual occurrence.
Yes.
The second one was Sand, and I have never seen the sandfish do what it did this time. It basically kind of hid in the shadow of the tree and then just mysteriously disappeared after a while. And I was pretty triggered about that. Had to end up like leaving the captured, rejoining the captured, and then it ended up being a 3-bite or something anyway. It was really frustrating. And then Lake Fish, you can kind of expect is gonna, hang itself on the wall for a while. So I was kind of expecting that one. But yeah, the Sandfish did some stuff that I was not ever expecting to see.
The lake thing. He did do that stuff. As for the sandfish, I mean, like, I have trouble even seeing where he is, just because of the tree shadows and.
Yeah, usually
Hitting
he's
him
the
the same-
easiest to lure out.
Yeah, it just.
I
makes
also
it really hard
so
to
when
see
you
the
popped
fish.
out, I was like, I can't even see the fish. It's just like purely in the shadow for me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's kind of where I was at too, and I had like a suspicion that it had disappeared on me completely. So that's why I kind of uncaptured, recaptured, because that'll make it come back. But it was a bit of a rough one.
Yep. So, I mean, like, I'd say besides, like, Fish, Snowclip, and Cap, like, I feel like your run was really solid. Like, at least sub 325 pace.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For
Yeah, because if you combine the snow clip and cap by itself, that's 3 minutes already
oh wow, like 3 minutes total just for that.
of time
Well,
loss. Yeah, just kind of
been
thrown
really
away there.
close to your PB if all that stuff didn't happen then.
Yeah, but that's kind of the nature of this category. It's really hard to stay consistent for 3.5 hours, but if you manage to kind of build that muscle, then that's how you do really well in this category.
Yeah, one mistake can literally kill your run at any point in the post game.
Yeah, and keeping a level head is really
Because-
important too.
Post game mistakes can be really punishing, depending on what it is.
And thankfully, neither of you really messed up any birds. So
Yeah, no bird mess ups, so that's good. That's always
Yeah.
nice to see.
Birds usually cause me trouble, but this run was pretty good. The one in Cap, I was a bit late for that, so I just changed the moon order a bit, so it wasn't
Yeah.
that bad.
you ended up getting it near the
Like
notes.
that.
Yeah, near the danger sign. And then I got the danger sign first and the notes afterwards, and then just flew to the Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, talking about fish in lake, I actually got a pretty quick first bite fish, but
Yeah, we saw
I
that.
didn't expect him to bite, so I actually missed that one and just waited for the next one.
Oh. Yeah, sometimes that happens with fish, where it's like, oh, you really don't expect to get that lucky, so expect the
And
first bite.
He was also stuck in the wall, so I didn't even expect him to bite. I was like waiting until he turns or something.
Right. Makes sense. Your sandfish was almost instantaneous.
Yeah, I actually clipped that, so maybe I can find a setup or something at some point. Because it might be that fish can be consistently first bite if you always do the same thing.
Well, there definitely seems to be like you can take to lure each fish in such a way to maybe increase your better bites. I don't know if it would 100% be consistent and foolproof, but like
Better than nothing.
improving your chances at all is definitely something. Like limiting Odyssey to nearly 0 RNG would be a blessing.
Hmm. Oh, and about the luncheon jump, I listened a bit to commentary, and you were surprised about my approach there.
Yes, we
So,
were.
I usually mess up the other way, so I just decided to do the way that is safer for me.
Yeah, that was a interesting method. I mean, like, if you really wanted to, you threw along the platforms and then just lava boosted twice, and I think that would have been faster than what you ended up doing.
Or you can
But
just
your
long
method
jump
was
and lava
also
boost.
very interesting.
Can you just long jump and lava boost?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
I'm pretty sure you can do that.
I only know about
You
the.
know, if you feel unsafe about setup or whatever last minute.
It's been a long time since I've seen the strat that you did.
Yeah, there were sure some old strats
Yeah,
here.
I'm... No. Shock for me. Oh, surprisingly for a 3-hour commentary, I don't really have too many questions for the post-interview.
Yeah.
I forgot everything that I might have wanted to say, so.
I feel like that's part of the problem with how long this category is. Like,
exactly.
for any percent race, you have input immediately on what the runners are thinking, because, well, or you have a lot more retention to keep what you were doing in mind. But this is just really long, so...
It's a little bit intimidating commentary-wise, but, you know.
Oh yeah, City Hall.
I mean, nah, man, I had fun. So...
City Hall was once again the polls, and City Hall just didn't want to cooperate.
Oh yeah, City Hall. You
And
definitely
also
had a
entering City Hall.
Oh yeah, there were a couple of monks.
A couple?
A couple.
A couple? I think me and Vash counted 4.
Yeah.
Just in that one section.
At least 4.
It was like back-to-back-to-back-to-back bonks.
You know, bonks lead to bonks, as I always say.
Pretty much. Like, it's hard to, like, get away with only doing one bonk once you bonk, because I feel like it's the nature that you messed up, you know, what you usually do in the movement, so then you're trying to improvise and correct it, and it just doesn't work, and then you just bonk again. Or something.
Alright, does anybody else have anything else they want to say?
I'm good, man.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Alrighty.
Then,
I guess if there's not too much more to say or really input on, I guess we can end it.
Yep, so if you enjoyed the race, make sure you follow the runners. Dangers is over there, Zinpars. It's over there at that other link that got posted in chat.
Mm-hmm.
In an hour from now on this channel, there will be a link to the past. I think it's I'm pretty sure it's randomized, so randomizer, right?
Probably.
Inverted, swordless, normal.
Ooh.
There's a
Interesting.
whole lot of commas on the title for what's coming up. Actually, nope, that's a
I don't
different
really know a lot.
This one is
so-
all dungeons, open, swordless, hard, enemizer.
There you go.
Boy, what? Alrighty.
So, stay tuned if you want that. But, thanks for watching, everybody.
GG's
bye.
Zinpars.
GG Dangers, and thanks for commentating, guys.
Yeah, no problem. I had fun.
No problem.